And hello, everyone. My name is Derek Floyd of IK Multimedia and the Beautiful Now podcast. I am completely excited to be your stream host for an incredible new live streaming event being put on by the National Black Musicians Coalition. It's called the Musicians United for Change. And it's going to be an event where many people are coming together to talk about health and wellness, life and insurance things, artists, musicians, guest speakers, panel discussions, all to bring together great information for musicians around the world. And if you're that person who's been thinking about being a music creator or being a musician for your lifestyle, this is the event for you. So we're going to tune right in and see what's going on at the event right now. It starts at 10 o'clock, and it's right about 10 o'clock right now. So let's see what's happening on the floor at the event in Atlanta. Let's see. Queen Cora,
Yeah.
help us out.
Oh,
There goes some
what?
sound.
So to start this thing off, because we're in this beautiful facility, wonderful church, we thought we should always start with prayer because all these musicians are men of faith, men and women of faith. So to start us off, Pastor Long will give us our opening prayer. Would everyone please stand?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of our senior pastor, Pastor Gary K. Taylor, just want to thank you for coming and allowing you to educate yourself and empower yourself here at Open Word Christian Ministries. I would be amiss if I did not invite you back to church on tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. But other than that, I'm excited to be here just to pray on his behalf and to see brothers and sisters learning how to improve and enhance their craft. Amen. Let us pray. Father God, we just thank you for the session on today. We pray that your Holy Spirit give us guidance, give us understanding, give us wisdom, give us knowledge on how to apply these tools, these concepts, the things that are discussed today, so that we may enhance our craft, we may go to the next level, and we may continue to operate in the perfection and the professionalism that you called us to operate, so that we may as well serve, preach through our example, through our ministry, through our music, through our lives. It's in the mighty and majestic name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. Just for the sake of, because we are who we are, musicians and entertainers, let's just have a round of applause because we know and love how that feels. Everybody just clap your hands because we love how that feels. So today, this is incredibly and on purpose informal. It's just like laid back. It's as if we're in your living room. Some of you are in your living rooms with your pajamas and your drawers on, I'm sure. But not in the church, though. No drawers wearing in the Pastor, they can't wear the drawers in the church, can they? Not in the church, sorry. Hope you have drawers on, amen, but not in the church. But it's gonna be laid back like that. The people that are gonna grace this stage have worked with some of the top artists throughout the planet, and they're here to share not only their personal testimonials, but also some of their experiences throughout their careers. And it's important for you as attendees to really grab hold of what you're going to be here and learn from it. We've got people here that are experts in many areas that a lot of musicians, unfortunately haven't really been that up on, like literacy and insurance and health, and all these things are important for these musicians to be as great as they are. So without any further ado, I want to bring up the gentleman who is the president of this amazing organization. His name is Chip, but before he was a musician, he was a stripper known as Chocolate Chip. So I want y'all to give it up to Chip Sheeran, everybody. Come on, give her a big round of applause. Sexy Chocolate Chip. Sexy Chocolate Chip.
Some things you weren't supposed to tell. You just got to hold back on some things. Welcome, everybody. Thank you. Okay.
Did he get one of the mics on the chairs? Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. This means so much to us to be able to visit the city of Atlanta and get this started. This is how we open up the chapter, the Atlanta chapter of the coalition, the National Black Musicians Coalition. Now, let's talk about how we got into this and why we knew this was important. Starting, I would say, probably close to 3 years ago, I had some conversations with a company called TC Electronic, and they were always asking me, Chip, how do we meet and get in front of black musicians?
And so they got up with me, just a musician, just to find out how to do this. And we were able to come up with some pretty creative ways. But we saw that there was an actual need, that there was a weakness in our industry of companies not really knowing how to connect with us. We knew that. What we really knew is that sometimes the companies didn't see the value in our economic impact as well as we knew of it in ourselves. In other words, sometimes they would kind of overlook us a little bit when they built advertising and those things. You could call it some form of a microaggression. Comes a new term now, right? Can't say it's on purpose, but it's just a part of the industry. So we're educating the industry on a whole on how to include all people into making a better industry for all of us. That's what this is about. Now, we know what the economic impact is for Black musicians. We know how much money we spend on equipment. At any time, all of us can say, I spent X at this, and I know the store I bought it from, and there are churches all over the place now that support music actively. So we knew that we had to get involved to make sure that we're leveling the playing field. Bring in George Floyd, okay? Global pause, matched with COVID. Before you know it, everybody's like, man, really? We're kind of fragmented all over the place. So we knew a change was coming. George Floyd opened up the floodgates of emotion. The whole nation was on fire for change. Fender, large, beautiful company, very supportive of what we're doing, was kind enough to see the need for that change with us and is partnered, and we thought we would build some Zoom calls, and we got started. We talked every month for over a year and a half about change, inclusion, equity, equality, all of these buzzwords that you hear. This is what built our organization, all right? So we wanted to say to all of you that education is the key of how we move forward, regardless of how we got here. It's continuing to educate ourselves on being better is the better way for us to move. And that's what we're gonna do. We do advocate for musicians with companies, but we advocate to form a bridge to education. That's what it's about. All right, I hope that makes sense. So the key, health and wellness, financial literacy, professionalism, understanding what it's like to be a musician. We have roundtables. You're gonna see a host of tons of different content through our webpage. Please go to it and join the nationalbmc.org. You can go to it, join it. There is privileges in membership, which will include, imagine having insurance for the first time as a musician. Imagine being able to get discounts at places that you probably couldn't have gotten it before because now you're a part of this organization. Imagine understanding now I know how to get endorsement deals because I have proper mentorship to open me up to the avenues and the info to get it. That's what we're here for. And it is a lot of work to do, but it's really important. Scholarships for people going to colleges, support, banks, City National is one of our sponsors also. Creatively, it's important for us to have them as a sponsor because we want to open up the floodgates for interest for backing projects, music, film, TV. That's pretty much what City National Bank was started to do. They have a chapter here, they have chapters in LA, of course, where they started, but they're all under Royal Canadian Bank, RBC, or Royal Bank of Canada. But they were built for a reason of supporting the creative spirit, and that's what we make up. All right, so a lot of different sponsors that we have, which include Sweetwater Sound, which is our largest sponsor. Very, very, I can't tell you, it's amazing sometimes to think about how much they've put into this through simple Zoom calls and wanting to be a part of that change. So we're very proud of our sponsorship with Sweetwater Sound. Zildjian Cymbals have done an amazing job. Craigie Zildjian, who actually owns the company, comes to every Zoom call and she cares about how she can make a difference. Cali Audio, wonderful monitor company. always on the calls, always about support, trying to help out black musicians. How do we make a difference? It all matters. PRS Guitars, another wonderful sponsor for us, does great things also. Uh, you'll see discount coupons for them and a lot of help. They're always trying to find ways to mentor. We're proud of what they do for us as well. Uh, who else am I missing? Gordon, we have, well, we talked about City National Bank, obviously is our bank sponsor. Earthworks microphones, some of the best microphones on the earth, on the planet. Great word, Earthworks, for that reason. Fender, of course, we named. And as you can see, all the Fender stuff that they brought, we're very proud to know that they're there. These are all giveaways, part of the sponsorship as well. IK Multimedia, can't leave them out. They have been a godsend to us, helping us in so many different ways. Derek Floyd right now is helping us with the live presentation on a stream. Very thankful for that, Derek, if you're listening. But all of these companies have shown to do wonderful things, all right? I want to introduce our board. Matter of fact, starting with my vice president, Mr. Gordon Campbell. Gordon right here. You probably have seen Gordon on someone's stage at some particular point. A lot of different acts, are too many to name. They go back from Ulysses S. Grant to Beethoven to Earth, Wind, and Fire. He's been around a long time. Dave Hampton, executive director for us. Dave has his fingerprint on this music industry in a different way, not as a musician, but here is the width of our organization covering sound, support, audio visual, engineers. All of those are part of, you know, what we're looking for. It's not just musicians, but it's those are key jobs that support us. Matter of fact, sometimes I think we're supporting them. It goes back and forth how we work together, right? Also, I have Aaron Spears, who is here, one of our other founding members and board of director members here. You probably have seen Aaron behind a drum set somewhere in your life. Too many different places to name, but we're real proud of our DC brother being here as well. In the city of Atlanta, you know him, you've seen him before, Little John Roberts. Wonderful, wonderful board of director member who is, there's so much we can't do without him. We're proud to have him here. You've seen him behind a couple of drum sets on TV shows. Well, too many places, we don't need to name it. Very proud of my dear friend and sister, Divinity Rocks, another founding member. Spectacular bass player. Of course, I love bass players, and I love Divinity Rocks for that reason. But incredible talent, author as well. We want to make sure that we are supporting her in her writing efforts as she supports us. Very proud. On the far side, this wonderful human being that you can see standing, you know, she's matching me right now, she's matching me. The incomparable Cat Dyson, ladies and gentlemen, guitar player to the stars. We love this woman. She does so much for us in handling, let's just say, if anything needs to be done, somewhere Cat Dyson is going to be there to make it happen, I'll tell you. Online, listening right now, other board of directors, we have Queen Cora Coleman, who you probably have heard of or seen before. An amazing, talented drummer. Real proud of this person. She writes the boat all the time for us in so many different ways, keeping us even looking good. Thank you, Cora, for the design of the sweatshirts. I'm trying to think, who else do we have? Chris Johnson is listening right now, back in LA. He may be up right now, hope so. Chris Johnson, another famous drummer. You've seen him, Lady Gaga and so many others. Chris is responsible for the feed that you see with the video going back. And so all of us are doing so many different things that may not be what we normally do, but we're very proud to do it in order to do this for you all. So I think that takes us to where we are. Next, I want to bring up Kat so that she can get us started with this next part. And then we're going to get into the roundtables, right? Gordon, you got it. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Kat Dyson.
I'd like to take the time to also talk about our membership, a little bit past and beyond the music, and to acknowledge people that have helped us put all of this together. There's a separate set of visuals, I think, that go with this. And I'd like to first off thank Mr. Rick Ross from Music Education Group for connecting with our board of director member in Atlanta, our boots on the ground here, Mr. John Roberts, or they call him Little John. I'd like to make sure that you guys know what they're doing with education here in Atlanta is just an awesome thing. So also, John is doing education at Berkeley. And I'd like to also spotlight one of our members, Sean Alduane, who is up for Grammy consideration, and he is the president of the Memphis chapter of the Grammys. Also like to make mention of Divinity Rocks, who is now into children's books and children's education. She has a single out called Ready, Set, Go that's on all platforms. She has 2 picture books to accompany her music that you can get at Amazon. I'm just, going through to let you know, it's a bit of a praise report for our membership. Advisory board members, regular board members. Mr. Gordon Campbell, his CD, Conversation, is up for Grammy consideration. Dave Hampton, who is the creator and manufacturer of Reftone speakers. Chris Johnson, who has a book on multiple styles of drumming, along with him touring with everybody and playing with everybody. One of our advisory board members, Mr. Paul Jackson, has an awesome CD out called City of Refuge. And our queen of percussion, Miss Sheila E., just got a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Latin Grammys with her father. First time it's ever been done for the 2 of them. So we want to congratulate them as well. I want to continue with Mr. Aaron Spears, who is on our board as well, who has started to be a part of the mentor program at Jam Card. So you can get mentoring from him as an instructor from Jam Card, along with his work and his playing and everything. So we're all kind of branching into other venues that lead us from the music into education, lead us from the music into health and wellness, lead us from the music into financial literacy, and having different streams of income. Dr. Cheryl George, who's going to speak about health and wellness, she's also part of our membership. Mr. Kevin Wilson, who does the guitar summits, he's doing a 6-week quartet guitar boot camp. And Queen Cora Coleman, who is away, but she's here with us. She is also involved in education at Texas Southern and at Howard University. She just had big meetings with the new dean, and her construction business, Building Simple. She's even making tea. So these are just some of the things that musicians don't just play music. We take our dreams and make our art build other streams of income around it. So that's my praise report for our membership. Thank you.
All right, all right. Give another big round of applause. If everybody can just move to the center of your rows and let it not be more than 3 rows back. So everybody can be like right in the middle here. So when they take the shots from the back, it'll be here. If that's cool. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Come on up one other row, my brother. That'll be great. Thank you. All right, so as you know, there are going to be some amazing musicians that are here today. And if raise your hand if you are a musician, you're in attendance. Okay, awesome, awesome. Is it my eyes or is it really 2 of y'all? Wow, and what do you guys do? Okay. Keyboardists and choirs at Clarkland University. Awesome. That's good. That's what you need here. Yeah. Well, I would like to contribute $100,000 to your accounts. I said I would like to, but the truth is, they didn't pay me that much today, so I can't help you out. But I'm gonna pray for you though, because I love you, brothers.
Now that was kind of funny.
All right, so check this out. Like I said, there's some people that's about to hit this stage. I promise you, you are gonna get a lot of information. You will feel better when you leave here. You're gonna know many things. I want to bring up the brother who's going to introduce the panelist. He's a drummer. I've known him Since I used to go to church in LA, he used to be the drummer in our church band. And then I looked up, he's playing for everybody. All I always said is his talent would be even better if he was at least 6 feet tall. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Gordon, everybody. Gordon, brother, if you was tall, you'd be even more dope. But sorry about that. Everybody can't be 6'2" like me. It'll come on. Wait. Where is it? All right.
Hello. Well, I told Jesus that same thing about my height, and he didn't comply. So it is what it is. I'm gonna make the best of it. So, but thank you guys for coming out. My name's Gordon Campbell. We're gonna talk a little bit about how we got our start. And as everybody comes up, who I'm bringing up, I want them to all say who they play with, so you guys can get an idea of the level of the people that's up here and the level that you guys can reach. Because all of us started at a place and we got to a place, and we want you guys to know that it's attainable for everybody. So I'm gonna bring up Little John Roberts, Philadelphia and slash Atlanta. Philly, Atlanta. I'm gonna bring up Aaron Spears, Washington, D.C.'s finest. Dave Hampton, come on up. Los Angeles. Chip Sheeran, come on up. And Trey Gilbert, can you come on up too? We put you on the spot, bro. Yes. Divinity, please, and Kat. And we really want to make it, we would really want to make it personal to you guys, because the difference that we want to make is letting people know you can make a career out of this. Even if you're not playing, if it's a manufacturer, if it's in the music industry. Some of us cover a lot of those different bases. So we want you guys to know that it is attainable, and we're just gonna start with Divinity, and Divinity's from Atlanta. So you can tell how you got your start.
Oh man, I got my start here in the ATL, in the streets of the ATL, coming to watch Trey, John, Apache, and Vinay, playing locally as an artist and as a bass player. And I went to Victor Wooten's bass camp. Victor Wooten did a bass camp, bass nature camp. And when I saw Victor play for the first time, I thought, I'm never gonna play like that. I'm never gonna, like, what is he doing? So I wanted to learn from him. So I go to his camp as a student, and we have to introduce ourselves by playing bass. And I was rapping and playing bass at the time, so I asked him if I could rap and play. And he said, yeah, if that's what you do it. So I got up there and I did my little rap, the D-I-V-I-N-I-T-Y, rapping with Victor. And after the camp, he called me and asked me if I wanted to go on tour with him. I didn't go to camp thinking that he was gonna ask me to go on tour with him. I mean, I can tell you the whole story. I didn't even have the money to get to the camp. The camp cost $500, and I was out here doing those $50 gigs, those $100 gigs here and there, and I was also working a job, and somehow the IRS sent me a check for $500, exactly the amount that I needed to go to the camp. So Victor asked me to go on tour, and he asked me, he said, do you have more songs like that DI song that you sang? I was like, yeah, man, I got a lot of songs like that. I ain't have but what, that one song? So when I hung up the phone with him, I was like, yo, I gotta go write some more songs. And I did. And I got to go on tour with him. I toured with Victor for 5 years, playing bass on his show, performing. He gave me his stage to perform my own original songs. He was such an incredible artist and musician, and just a great human being to travel with. And shortly thereafter, after 5 years with Victor, I auditioned for the Beyonce gig here in Atlanta at Crossover. I auditioned for the gig and I got it. I mean, it's a long story, but like, I got the gig, which was crazy because it's Beyonce. So I toured with her for 5 years. I am a solo artist. I play with the Black Girls Rock Orchestra. Kim Burst is the musical director of that gig. I just put a kids album out. I license songs. I produce music. I mean, once you really decide that you want to be a musician and an artist,
if you follow the path, if you make that decision and make that commitment to yourself, then the world begins to open up and you start to learn. You start to come to places like this, for instance, to get knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what you need to support yourself as an artist. I realized that I had to think of myself as a business. So I created an LLC through which I get paid and pay myself. And I have a business account, and I think of myself as a business. Sometimes I've even pretended to be my own manager when I'm emailing people so that they respect this manager asking for this price versus me, the musician, asking for my price. Because for some reason, people think musicians are supposed to take less money when you offer it directly to them. But if somebody else comes in and says, no, actually, I want this, they're more willing to give it to you. So that's just a little bit about my life, and I hope that's what you wanted.
That's amazing. That's what the people want to hear. Give it up for Divinity Rocks. Give it up for Divinity
My name is
Rocks.
Divinity Rocks. And you can go on Amazon right now and download my pre-order my book, Me Plus You, published by Scholastic. It's a kid's book.
And you've probably seen her playing with Beyonce too. Playing that bass with Beyonce out front, rocking with Beyonce. This is Divinity right here. Next we have, and I've seen this man on so many different gigs, so many different tours, Atlanta's finest bass player extraordinaire, Mr. Trey Gilbert.
How y'all doing? Some energy. Y'all need a little bit of energy. So how y'all doing? Y'all good? Okay, I just need to wake y'all up. I know your coffee kicked in or not. I didn't get my whole cup. I only had a half a cup of coffee, so you know what I'm saying. We was trying to get here. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Trey Gilbert, Tres. They call me Trey Funk and all that. Anyway, yes, it's been a journey. Much like most of us, we started in church. And it evolved through a drive, through wanting to do more and than just the four walls. And when I say that, it's not just about bass playing. I used to set drums up and set sound up and things for just to be in the space, right? To learn things that I didn't know. I know how to do sound and play drums and produce and all this stuff. Well, with that journey being that journey because of knowledge, things that I wanted to know, which is why you're here, it went from doing a bunch of gospel people, whether it was Tremaine Hawkins or Daryl Coley, to all of that, to doing Kelly Price 112, Silk, Jagged Edge, Roberta Flack, Soul Train Awards. 15 years down the line, I probably produced less than 10 records, but I have 7 Grammy nominations. It's weird, right? I said that to say we all endorse people and that process I know you want to know about, but it's a body of work. It's a process. I can't say that enough. You have to, it's about scheduling and it's about the business. Third World Music LLC. There's a lot of branding involved, y'all. John always, he said you always got something with your stuff on with your logo. Yeah. And it's subtle, but you have to learn that through the body of the business and movement, right? So with that, currently, last, I guess, 15, 16 years, I've been Bobby Brown's music director in the No Edition camp with BBD and all that. It's just a whole bunch of artistry that I don't even know how, I don't want to talk about all of that because I want you guys to understand that it starts somewhere and you have to keep grinding to get to where you go. Look, like my friends up here are book writers and all kinds of entrepreneurs and mentors. And this is my bro here. I want to say almost 30 years we've been friends, and he's currently a professor. And I couldn't be more proud. I felt like I was a professor. You're like, when he says, I got to go, I was like, yeah, like
You're nuts.
like that's what I'm talking about, So, you have to put in the work. You have to understand the business. You have to, you said something about management, right? And she's correct. Some reason that whole thing right in between us and the management, it's a necessary evil, if you will. But what she was doing and is doing is actually learning the position so she'll know who to hire for the position. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go back in there and do sound right now because I learned how to do sound to be able to go hire a sound guy to be able to tell him what I want. You know what I'm saying? And so those positions, those things, you have to learn it. You have to, get ingratiated, figure it out. It's too many YouTube videos and clips and all this kind of stuff that you can get information from, and then you have us. You have direct access to everybody up here, websites, all of our discographies, anywhere, wealth of knowledge. Get on the Black Musicians Coalition site, sign up, do your thing, get this information, connect to all of this so we can help you and help us at the same time. All right?
Thank you. Trey Gilbert. And he said one thing before we go to Little John that's important. Go to our site, nationalbmc.org, nationalbmc.org, and you can sign up, be a member, and you'll be included in everything we have going on. You'll know what's going on, where we're going to be next, what we're doing. A lot of stuff is online, of course, because a lot of us live in different cities. But we want to contact everybody. We do Zooms. If you have questions, we're mentoring people. We're here for the whole nine, and that's what we had. A lot of us didn't have growing up. We had to just figure it out. So now we figured it out. We want to help the next generation get it. So next, we have Mr. Lil John Roberts. I'm gonna say this really quick. We met, and I don't know if you remember this.
I do remember.
This is in high school. I'm from New York. He's from Philly, and they used to have a gospel choir competition in New York City every year, and my choir always went. So one year I was there with my choir playing drums. He was there with his choir. I think Overbrook, right? Were you playing with one choir from Philly? Yes. It was a high school choir, though. It was a high school choir competition. And afterwards, you came up to me and was like, man, you sound good on the drums. I was like, you sound good on the drums. I was in like 11th grade, so I'm old. So it was like 88 or something like that.
I don't remember.
See, I remember. And then we started talking about the Longs that you're related to from Philly and all that. I remember. See, he don't even remember. But that's how long from 88. Yeah, he doesn't even remember. But anyway.
I got another story, but I'll tell it.
So after that, I just start seeing, I went to Howard, he went to Berkeley. We went our separate ways. And you talking about the Kojic convention probably too. But anyway, I just always admire watching him playing with everybody. I'm gonna let you tell who you played with, but watching him from high school, us talking in the aisle in New York City to now is like amazing. So give it up for Little John Roberts.
What's up, y'all? Man, a lot of us met when we were teenagers. It's crazy. Me and Trey met when we were young. Me and Gordon. Gordon, the story I have is when we played with Timothy Wright the same night. We played with Timothy Wright and his choir. Choirs would come into every city and get a band when they got there. So all the drummers in the city would be like, I want to play. So I don't know, were you traveling with him on that, or were you just in town?
No, it was UNAC, Church of God in Christ Convention.
That's what it was.
It was UNAC.
Me and Sput met the same way.
Sput, Doobie Powell, we were all there. All little kids.
Me and Aaron met the same way. He was playing with Gideon Band. I was playing with Jehovah Chosen from Philly, and we had some shows together. So we have a long history of all of us together. Most of us, grew up as kids together. And so I'm from Philadelphia. Everybody knows me as Lil John. I'll be 50 next year. I don't know how I'm gonna get rid of that little part, but that's part of my brand. That's part of my brand. That's part of his brand. And I never said you always wearing your stuff. I encourage you to wear that stuff. Trey, Funk. This guy, we might as well have came from the same mom. But yes, so coming from Philadelphia, I went to Berkeley for a minute for 2 years. Stayed in Boston for 3 years. I moved to Atlanta. Never even thought about Atlanta. I was like, Atlanta, Georgia? What's Atlanta, Georgia? When I got here, I figured it out. I was like, oh, everything was building up from the ground up. Outkast was just coming out. TLC was booming. Escape, Monica, all of these groups were all coming out around the same time in early 90s. And I just happened to be here around that time. And I hooked up with Jermaine Dupri and Dallas Austin and Organized Noise. I started playing on all their sessions. They were asking me to put the bands together. Here I am on Arsenio Hall show in 1993 or 94, something like that. Then I go on American Music Awards with Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. So people are starting to see me on TV and everything. I come to Atlanta, I put all the bands together. Goody Mob's first band, we're on tour with the Fugees and the Roots. And I came from a very rich background of music in Philly. Questlove and Chris McBride, Joey DeFrancesco. We all were in high school. We played an all-city jazz band together. And then we all branched out from there. We met Miles Davis. We met Wynton Marsalis when we were kids, Sun Ra. All of these people were like pouring into our life early. And Wynton Marsalis took us on the road to play in a Duke Ellington Youth Orchestra. And that just took everything else to the next level. Joey went with Miles Davis. Chris went to New School. I went to Berkeley. And we all just branched out on our own. And matter of fact, we had a reunion right before the pandemic at Blue Note for 4 nights in New York. So all that to say, it's been a long journey. It's been 30 years for me. I formed a band here called The Chronicle back in the day. I met Divinity around that time. Trey I already knew, but he was sitting in with us a lot too. I played on Divinity's first record. We was in this little small studio, and I played to like her bass and nothing else. It was like click and bass. And she was like, don't worry about it, just follow whatever I'm doing, do what you do, and then we're gonna put stuff on top of it. Later on, she gets signed to, did you get signed to Interscope?
We did a demo deal.
We did a demo deal with Interscope.
We did the whole showcase.
We went to LA, did a showcase for Divinity, and next thing you know, Divinity's out of here. She's with Beyonce on tour. I'm like, yes! So Atlanta has a lot of history here. I'm glad we could do this here now. This is the second event for us. The first one was in LA. And I'm like, y'all doing Atlanta? Y'all already know, like, I got y'all. And with my help of my brother Trey and Divinity and all the people that are from Atlanta, this is what we dreamed of, like having a NBMC in Atlanta, which we're going to do in the future, have a chapter here. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm very happy to be a part of this board. Some of the most amazing musicians, engineer Prince. I mean, come on, he built the studio in Paisley Park. This guy right here helped build that studio. So we have some amazing people on this board, and I'm really advising you guys to get a part of this organization because we are making some huge changes for the Black musicians all around the country. So get down, and whatever you can add to this that we're doing, we need people to add their resources and whatever you can do to help push this initiative.
Yeah, Lil John Roberts. Next up, we have Mr. Dave Hampton.
Hey, everybody, how you doing? I'm Dave Hampton, and I'm an engineer. I'm an author. I'm a technician. That's how I got my start. This is my 44th year in the business. So I've seen several generations of musicians in all different formats all over the world. I've spent a lot of time with Herbie Hancock. I spent about 12 years of my life. Prince has spent about 7 years of my life. Whitney Houston, early on, spent about 4 years of my life. So I've seen a lot and experienced a lot. And it's just good to still be around music and musicians. It's a service business for me. And that's what it's always been. And so I like to just make sure that everything runs smooth, and I always like to make sure that I keep my eye out for the next people who have a glimmer in their eye that they could not necessarily want to be the one on stage, but be the one in the back of the room or the one on the side of the stage, because it's just as important. And you get to see the world, you get to experience a lot. Man, everybody's stories up here, they resonate because it's all perspective. And whether you're from the drums, the keys, the mixing console, it's perspective. And we're bringing it all to you guys, and we take a lot of time to get to where we are in this business. I came along and started my career as an electronics person, and the way I got into music was that I had friends who were going to a 4-year college, and they didn't want to do their homework for a synthesizer class. So they would come over to my house, and they would pay me $10 a piece, and I would do their homework. And I went to school with them one day and said, man, this is easy. Why are you guys not doing this? And it was programming synthesizers, but it was just electronics to me. And so off of that, I got interested, but I still went and worked at IBM, worked at Hughes, making missiles. I wasn't happy, but it was paying well. And I got a chance to transfer into the school and take electronic music and recording. And once I did, I never turned my head again towards industrial electronics. I ended up working for Oberheim, making synthesizers and drum machines right as they were coming into music. And then I started moonlighting, doing sessions, and learning how to be an engineer. And for many years, I didn't tell people I was an engineer because it was too much. You didn't see a lot of black people who were qualified in electronics in the studio. So I had to subdue all that and just go in as just humble, lovable shoe shine, you know. And so it's been a long journey, but it's been great, and I just look forward to just finding the new faces. I have a book out on Hal Leonard. It's called The Business of Audio Engineering. It's not about how to mix, it's about how to construct your life and pay for your house, your home, your children, your life based on your skill set as an engineer. And so, and it's in its third edition. So, and I also make Reftone speakers, and I still service my clients. Right now, I'm responsible for the design of 1500 Sound Academy in Los Angeles. I'm also working on a project in Tennessee for Uncle Nearest Whiskey. And I'm working on a project in Las Vegas for Resorts World. So I do studio design now and been doing it for a long time. And so all of everything has come together, and that's like everybody's story here. You keep on melding yourself to what the next version of you is going to be, you know. But I'm happy to be here, and when you have access to NBMC, you got access to everybody up here, so you can drop us an email, ask us a question, anything. That's it.
Hey, man, real quick, do you have any samples of Uncle Nearest with you? I just want to know.
Not in the church, brother.
Yo, but those Reftone speakers are amazing.
Yes, sir.
Those Reftone speakers, check them out.
Yeah.
So give it up for Mr. Dave Hampton, you guys.
Cool.
And I think it's very important for us to say everybody is not going to be the top musician in the world. Everybody's not. There's other jobs in music where you can actually make a career doing it. And Dave is the perfect example of that, from engineering to being a manufacturer of speakers, of studio monitors, Reftones. You can do other stuff and still be connected, and you can make a career out of it. And I thought about my parents, because I grew up in a small town, a small city, upstate New York. My parents never saw a musician that made a living out of it. So they were like, you need to do this. And I was like, I'm gonna be a drummer. Like, I'm going to college, I'm gonna get my degree, but I'm gonna play drums. And they didn't think it was possible until they saw me on Arsenio Hall and I started sending them money home. They was like, oh, okay. So I always tell, whenever I speak, I always like to tell the parents, if your kid has a passion for something, push it, you know, and understand it's not always, musicians and everybody here can attest, it's not always a steady check. It's a hustle. But if you have a passion for it, you can do it and it can be done. So that's all I just want to say. It is possible for the parents, and I see a couple young people here. So next up, all the way from Washington, D.C. He hails from Washington, D.C. You've seen him on stage with everybody. I'm not going to say it because I want you to say it. But give it up for Mr. Aaron Spears.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, board. Look, man, for me, I'm just really, really happy to be here. The collection of people here, man, it's just amazing to be amongst such great musicians and great people who have the same heart, the same mind to really help to push our community. You know, for so long, man, we've been in the back and supporting everything, but there comes a time, man, where we have to really lock arms together and go for what is ours or what we deserve, you know. For me, man, my career started, my first gigs was playing for my dad at weddings. You know, that's my very first time ever getting paid for doing what it is that I love. You know, I would attend weddings with him and I would play Ribbon in the Sky as he would sing, you know. And my father kind of, you know, he paid me a little bit of change from what it was that he made. And from that point on, man, I knew that this was something that I really wanted to do. I've loved music all my life. I played in church my entire life until I got a little bit older, and I started to kind of set out to try to do this as a career. I'm one of those musicians that work the 9 to 5 while still playing on the weekends and still, you know, playing nightclubs and this, that, and the other. Back home in DC. And I say that because I feel like sometimes musicians feel like there's a shame and actually working a job. I think it's just important that you have to take care of the dream and feed the dream any way that you can until the dream is able to feed you and take care of you. You know, sometimes it does turn around where, you know, all the hard work that you put in to be able to, you know, take care of yourself, to buy your sticks or buy your gear, buy your cymbals, and, you know, you working a 40-hour-a-week job, you know, you taking the money that you make from that to be able to invest in yourself. It does turn around at some point. You know, if it is what it's supposed to be, you continue to stay passionate, you continue to stay vigilant. Um, it can happen. And for me, I'm just a testament of that. Like I said, I worked a job for a long time until I got the call to audition for Usher. That was back in 2003. They asked me to do a video audition. I sent in a videotape, and from there, my tape was one of maybe 100 tapes that came in, and they selected me to be his drummer, which was really cool. You know, my coming out of high school, my parents didn't think that music was a thing because in DC, it's really a government town. It's politics, and there weren't really many people that were making a living playing music. So my parents were pushing me to go to the army. And I probably would have done well. I'll be able to do a few more push-ups than I can do now, but that wasn't my thing. I just didn't feel like that was, you know, I just knew that music was the one thing that um, I don't know. This sounds so corny, but it made me feel like this is what I'm supposed to do, and I'm glad that I stuck with that. You know, and kept pushing and made it to the place that I am now. From doing Usher, I've been able to play with Lady Gaga, with Miley Cyrus, Britney Spears, Ariana Grande, Ben Platt, a few artists overseas, Tiziano Ferro. I've been able to travel the world and see the world just from playing drums. I've been able to do clinics, teaching all over the world, you know, in Asia, South America, all over Europe. And these are things that I'm able to book on my own and make happen. Like I'm literally like going on tour myself, not with an artist, but just me and taking care of things in that way. And it's really just from the love that I have for music and then also for sharing with other people. And you know, for me, the most important, more than anything else, I just think it's really important that, you know, we help to share information and help to push the next generation. You know, I feel like that defines the legacy. And for me, when it's time for me to leave this place, I really think it's important that somebody coming behind me, like I want them to be able to have a better foot in the door, a better placement than what I had. You know, I didn't have people to share with me to say, "Hey, man, this is what you need to do, or you need to, you know, work on this, or you need to get these things in order, or financially you need to do this, or." You know, don't spend all your money on gym shoes, or you know, I didn't have that. You know, those are things that I had to learn the hard way. So for me, it's just important to be able to put people, especially us, in a better position than what I had. It's crazy, man, because like I lately I've been doing this mentoring thing with this company called Jam Card, and it's wild that all the people that have signed up for that I've had, they're all white people, and it's crazy because they are hungry. Like they're so hungry for the information. They want to know exactly what's happening. They want to know what did you do to get here? How did you feel when you did this? Or, you know, they are starving. You know, and you know we have the information that we want to share with us, but we don't want to receive it, or we don't want to ask the questions, or we don't want to, you know, kind of be involved. And I think that's something that we really have to, we got to work on that. We got to do better with that. We got to be willing to be open to share, and we also have to be willing to ask those questions to get the information that we need. So, again, man, I just think it's important that you all lock in uh, with the organization here. Let's make this happen together. Let's keep pushing together, and let's become better together. Because as much as it helps you all, it also helps us. For us to be able to share it, it helps us to grow. It helps us to become better. So let's continue to push together. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Give it up for Mr. Aaron Spears. And like he said, I got a call from a famous drummer friend of all of ours, Mr. Marvin Smitty Smith, the other day. And he said the same thing. He started teaching at a college in California, Cal Arts. It's an arts university. And it's the same thing. It's not a lot of us that want to get the, and he's like, bro, I want to give it back to us. And he's played with everybody. He's a jazz drummer, has played, and he said the same thing. So you guys, and on the live stream also, you guys have one-on-one pretty much, you can tap in with any of us, you know, and all of these people here are super humble, but they all have hundreds of thousands of followers that, like you said, are craving the knowledge. And we're here trying to give it back to our people, because this is how it goes. I mean, I know back in the day they said the history was told, it was spoken. Somebody spoke the history. That's the only way we know stuff. You know, I'm not going to get political or not, whatever you would call it, critical race, all that, but it's told, and that's how we keep it. So we're here to tell you guys what we learned and who we learned from, and give it back to you guys so you guys can give it to the next generation after you. So super important. Next, we have the doer. I call it a doer, like Chip said earlier. She just does whatever we need. She's been in Europe lately touring. And she's still, I can't, I'm on stage right now, but, or she'll get on a Zoom call, because we have a lot of Zooms. And like, I'm about to walk on stage in Europe. It's like nighttime there and it's morning, but she gets it done. But she's played guitar with everybody. So, and once she says who she played with, you'll probably be like, oh yeah, I've seen her before. So, but she's a doer. All of us are doing, that's why we're here, but Kat gets it done, real talk. Yes, she's the super doer. So give it up for Miss Kat Dyson.
Thank you so much. When I listen to everybody's origin stories, and it made me reflect, and I started out as a nerd. I was a math science nerd, and you know, like every Southern girl, you sing in a choir and you learn to play piano. You do the things that Southern girls do. And the boys at Christmas would always be with guitars outside playing loud and having fun, and I'm practicing piano, which I thought was absolutely boring. I would rather be in a science book or do something. And I said, Mom, I want a guitar. So my mother went down to Sears and bought me one of those, you know, the guitar kits with the acoustic guitar and little books and everything. And I started to teach myself, and a couple of the boys in the neighborhood, we started little band, did the, high school, junior high school talent shows, learned some songs, things you do in your neighborhood that you're around, but I was still focused on science. And actually my first scholarship was for medical technology, and they just didn't get the program together. To major in music was my second choice. So, I went to Norfolk State University, which is a HBCU. I actually majored in classical voice. I minored in guitar through a program that had the brothers of Victor Wooten. I went to school with the brothers of Victor Wooten, and it was headed up by Consuela Lee Moorhead, Spike Lee's aunt, and John Shacklet, who took over Wes Montgomery's trio, and he was Wes's protege. And from there, a band that got together when we were in school. We were an originals band. We had some interest in Canada. We had a backer to take us up to Canada. We started a band called Chukon, and we ended up winning Star Search, and which is like a weird twist of fate. And on the night we won, the girl that ended up dancing with Prince, the girl Kat that did the little move there, she won that night as well. So that's a little fun fact. And as I lived in Montreal, because we went up to, like I said, we went up to Canada. We won Rock Wars first, which was a Canadian version of Star Search. And then a producer from CBC, who was a niece of Oscar Peterson, Sylvia Sweeney, sent our tape down to California. We got on Star Search. We ended up winning. And the night we won, Cicely Tyson was one of the judges, and Miles Davis was in the audience. It was, I can't make this up. And, as time went on, the band, we won, we did an album, the band split up, and I started to tour on my own. And I have to say that, as I recall my journey as a singular artist and a solo artist and working with other people is centered around my complementary relationships and friendships with a circle of friends. Felicia Collins, who was out with the Thompson twins, who was the protege for Nile Rodgers, she had been playing with Cyndi Lauper, and then she got offered the David Letterman gig, and she called me and said, Cindy's looking for another female guitar player to replace me. So I went there. All my friends, all the female musicians, we were very few and far between, but we all knew each other, and we all were networking and, encouraging each other. And I went down and auditioned for Cyndi Lauper, got the gig, and started working with her. And then I end up at a NAMM show, and I'm with my friend Rhonda Smith, who plays bass, who played in my band as well. And we're at a NAMM show, and then we go over to Europe to the Mesa, which is the German NAMM, and we meet Sheila E. And she comes to us, and she's like, Sony wants me to do this big Supergirl group, this big, all-girl project. What kind of music you guys play? Can you play all styles? And she's asking us all this. So we sent her all this promo material, and we're thinking, oh, we're gonna play with Sheila. She's like, yeah. I called Wendy and Lisa. I called Michelle and Degacello, and Rhonda and I are like, yay. And then a month and a half later, we get a call. Prince is just changing his band, and he wants to play with women. So I sent your tape to him, and we're like, and within 2 weeks, we both get a call. Rhonda got a call first because he was working on the Emancipation record. So she went up first, auditioned for him, ended up playing on that record. A couple of weeks after that, I got a call, went up and auditioned, and my audition consisted of him on drums, Rhonda on bass, and us playing every style that he could think of. We did everything from Jimi Hendrix to Get Down Boogie Boogie Oogie to James Brown to he just wanted to know, how far can you go? Where do you stop? Where does it end? And he would ask me, well, who do you listen to? What guitar players do you like? And he would give me a few days, and he'd go, I listen to them. I like you better. So you never know what people are going to do and what they think. And being in that playing situation, him standing next to me, and I was a support guitar player, because when the boss plays, you just want to compliment. So ensemble playing is what I love, is what I enjoy. Being part of a group, which is also the reason why I'm part of the National Black Musicians Coalition, because as a collective, during the pandemic, we start to see gaps and holes and cracks and things, just like you're sitting in your house every day during the pandemic saying, I got to fix this. I got to do that. I got to change something about my house. I got to make it better. And we're sitting here watching the country go through this and watching everybody go through this. It's like, how can we make things better? And we're watching music education leave the schools. And we're watching kids have less of a choice, if they want to choose that, to get a proper education, to get a formal education, to know things and to be able to use music as an option for college. But if you have no prep, you can't even audition for a college music program if you have no prep. So we said, well, we see a lot of need in our communities, and how can we pull it all together? So when we tell you that we are inviting all music professionals, singers, spoken word artists, engineers, producers, all of these parts and pieces make music. Music manufacturers, people who invent great things for someone like me to play with. If you got an idea for a pedal that hasn't been done, hey, that's going to make a guitar player discover another sound. So whatever it is you're thinking, the entertainment industry at large, not just music, but everything, film, television, everything, it's all interwoven together. And knowing all these things is why we came together and why we want to grow and find out what you guys need, what we need more of. Not just young musicians, not just old musicians, not just, any particular group, all together. We want to hear the ideas. We want to grow the perspectives and ways to build things. So, like I said, female musicians, if I see a girl pick up anything, I'm the biggest cheerleader. And there's so many great guitar players, great bass players, great keyboardists, great singer-songwriters. Pick up something and play. Express yourself. I told somebody the other day, I learned to cash in my passion. And you can too.
That's a bar right
Cash
there.
in my
That's a bar.
passion. I learned how to say that. I learned how to do that. Thank you.
Give it up for Miss Kat Dyson. And before Chip goes, I keep getting ideas as I'm hearing y'all speak. One thing I definitely wanted to touch on for the young people, and really for anybody, really, playing an instrument or doing anything in life, and I'm telling you this from a father of a 20-year-old, it's a process of stuff. And I know the youth now just want to bump. They just want to be famous because now you can put a video on YouTube, but there's a process to get into a certain level. And I want to, not admonish, I don't know what the word is, tell you guys, the youth, to practice. And you might not be the best in the beginning, but if you focus and focus on the process of getting better, and you said something that made me think of something too. Prince played every style of music. For all of us, the way we're able to work all the time is we all play everything. We can play straight ahead jazz. We all came up in church, so we can play gospel. That's like in our sleep. We play pop music. We play funk. We don't turn our nose up at anything. I've done country tours. I've done Earth, Wind, and Fire to George Duke, to Neo, to Chris Brown, like literally everything. And that's what all of us. So I implore you guys, I guess that's probably the best word, to really embrace the process of learning and understand there's gonna be days where you feel like you're whack. There's gonna be days where you see somebody else now on YouTube or IG that you think is way better than you. But if you're focused and you focus on what you're doing and you learn your craft, also learn the history of whatever you're doing. If it's drums, learn all the drummers. If it's bass, learn all the bass, and really learn everything. Learn every style of music, who did what they're famous for, what records they're on. The more history you know, the better musician and better person really in life you're gonna turn out. So that's my 2 cents. But next we have our president, Mr. Chip Sheeran.
You call that 2 cents? That was like $436.
I'm sorry. My mind works all the time. Somebody told me I'm a thinker. So.
His mind never ends. No, it doesn't. I can tell you, I'm real proud just of this gathering as I see people come in. We love seeing that you all are here still. It still means so much to us. It really does personally. It gets a little emotional to think about how hard we've all worked together to get to this point just to be able to share. I guess my story dates back a little longer than some of these. Me and Kat and Dave have been at this a long time. We're thankful to God that we have. Let me just tell you that. My story started, grandmother's a music teacher, before you know it, of a pretty prominent family in Durham, North Carolina, if anybody's from that area, which got me actually started. My first professional gig was Dizzy Gillespie. So here I was a kid playing, because he wanted an electric bass player. So I was 16 playing with Dizzy. And that was a cool little hookup. I actually had a great time with that. I didn't really know what to do, but I learned a lot. I learned that one of the best ways to iron your pants, Dizzy told me, was to lay them under the mattress at night, and you don't need it. So anyway, you learn all these tricks. So, but moving forward after that, I decided I went to school at Duke University, studied music and econ and all of the things that I could, trying to keep my parents happy and keep me educated as best I could. But I decided to get on a Greyhound bus and go to a little town called Englewood, New Jersey. And at that particular point, I had a chance to struggle hard as a musician, playing in top 40 bands. I didn't have a place to stay, so I was homeless. I actually lived in the corner of Port Authority near the Sabaro's Pizza place. So I would take the LIR, Long Island Railroad, out to play gigs. I would come back in, and a buddy of mine named Daryl Mossy, I'll never forget it, would let me stay in the basement of his mom's house. She didn't know I was there, but I had to be out of the house by 7 a.m. because that's when she got up. So I would get up and go back to the Port Authority and wait for the trains to run to go back out to the gigs, to play the top 40 gigs. So I learned a lot earlier on about the struggle, but what I found out you have to fall in love with music, because there's going to be times that the industry doesn't love you back. And if you don't have that connection, the struggle will end quick, because you're not doing it for a personal reason that will push you through the tough times. That's that relationship with God that has to be in place to spring you through these times. I would sneak in the Holiday Inns we would play in, and I would walk through the hallways when the maids were making the rooms. I would sneak in and unlock the door when she wasn't paying attention. And then at the middle of the night after the gig, I would pop through the window on the outside and sleep into the room until 6. And then I would make my way back and sleep on the floor in Port Authority. That went on until a good little while, until a buddy of mine said, man, I got this crazy studio if you want to come over here in Inglewood and just sit on the floor, and whatever happens, you can sit on the floor, and maybe a session will happen. And this lady by the name of Sylvia Robinson said, look, I got this crazy song, if you don't mind playing on it. And I went in, and that song was Rapper's Delight. So I played bass on that song. And shortly after that, Curtis Blow asked me to play on his song, These Are the, if you remember that. See, these are way a long time ago type songs.
Wait. Yeah. You mean don't. That's you?
All of those.
My man.
Yes. So, you know, it came from extremely humble beginnings to get my start, but I wanted to tell the story from that point so you understand that we all know about the struggle, and we all know about the difficulties, and we all can talk to you about what it's like to not have it going your way earlier on, and we can tell you how to right that boat. And that's the real important part of why this means so much to me to get it to work, because I know all of those, all of these stories. I've lived them all. I've played with the pop acts. I've done all of those things. I got cursed out by Miles Davis in his house. A friend of mine took me to Miles' house. I didn't know it was Miles. I walked down the hallway. The curtains are drawn. The trumpets all over his brownstone. They were all over the house. His guy says, hold on, he'll be right here. The curtains come back, and I hear this man shuffling his feet, because at that particular time he had, God, I forget what he was struggling from at that point, but he wasn't walking too well. He asked me who I can't say that word in church, I was. And my friend said, yeah, he's the guy who played on Rapper's Delight. He says, oh, so you the one that it up for everybody. And that was the start of rap at that particular point, even though Miles was a fan of just about all musics. But all of these stories that we all have formed our relationships to serve. And that's what it's about. And that's what it is. The resumes will never be long or good enough if we can't include the most important thing, and that is, what did we give back? Now, let me say this too. We can all get to a certain level that we think we're at. We think we're on a high level. We think we have so-called made it, or we think we have gotten on, as I've heard the term. There's no such thing. Because at the start of the pandemic, everybody who was on was off. All right? And me and Trey, Lil John, Aaron, so many of us stayed very connected during that time and found ways to support each other financially, helping out, talking, whatever it was, we tried to keep each other up. But it showed that there was a huge weakness in our industry for that caring spirit to get our industry back on its feet, and to bring Black musicians, and all musicians, let me just say that, but Black musicians in particular, back into a place of prominence. And so COVID was a wonderful starting place for us to right the boat again, because we had a global pause. So please, from my personal stories to Kat's and Aaron's and Dave's and Lil John's and Trey's and Divinity, and so many others that you have, let's combine them to do something really good so we can move the narrative into something that's more positive, all right? Join the national BMC.org AARP.org. Go to the site, join. It's really important that you do this. You guys have heard of AARP, right? Did you know if you join AARP, if you're an actual member, don't say nothing, Jonathan, don't. You actually get discounts at movies and discounts. In other words, they have, because of their membership body, they're able to do wonderful things together because they're joined together. So what we want this to do is to join people together so that we can do those things. So starting further, Sweetwater, imagine this, because we're going to go into endorsements, we'll talk about this, but imagine having relationships that benefit you long term. That's what it's about. Imagine being able to, through the BMC, understand how to take care of your money, not going on tour and buying 400 pair of Air Force Ones, all right? But knowing you got to take the
And
money
what's wrong with that?
Well, you know, you got to,
If you can afford it.
You got to pay the bills. And we're going to talk to Dr. Cheryl about, all right, you got that tour money. Let me show you what you do with it. So these are the stories that I wish I had known when I was sleeping on the floor in Port Authority. I think about this story and I forget it sometimes. I think I blocked it out because I don't really remember it. But it brought us to where we are. So we're just glad to be here to share whatever we can to make a difference going forward, not just for the young, but also the established musicians who are still grinding to make it. There is no make it. Every day you get up, you live your life with purpose and you start over. Every day you start over. You have to view it that way. All right? Don't think yesterday is going to get you to tomorrow. That's no promise. Stay in the present. Live your life with purpose. Live a life of gratitude, and you'll see this industry will have a different meaning. That's what we're about. Thanks, everybody, for allowing us to take up this moment with you. Gordon Campbell.
Chip Sheeran, that's our president. Give it up for him. So while we're all sitting up here, we have a little surprise that none of y'all knew about. I didn't either, but we're going to do it anyway. Mr. Rick Ross, music industry executive.
One of my dear friends for
Chip's dear friend.
Too long.
This is also his home church. He helped facilitate the Atlanta, him and Little John helped facilitate this event today. This is the man. He's making stuff happen, and he has something to tell us.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank everybody for coming out. And I've known Chip probably 25 plus years. Incredible brother. He's been like my big brother and has taught me so much. I just can't thank him enough. I love you, bro.
Love you too, man.
Give him a round. When Chip asked me to be a part of this organization, I was actually honored. I was like, man, I get to get on the phone with all these super musicians. Y'all are like superheroes to a lot of people. And I'm honored to serve with you all and be a part of this initiative here in Atlanta. So I have an organization I founded about 18, maybe 20 years ago called the Music Education Group. We work with kids about music and technology, but the most important thing, we use all that for life skills. My executive director, James Caldwell, is upstairs manning the Zoom. So thank you, James, for handling that for us. But you know, I'm very passionate about what I do. I've been in the industry for the last 36 plus years, working for record companies and working for a lot of these artists that they've played with, from Earth, Wind and Fire to Prince to Neo, and the list goes on and on and on. And you know, my thing was, every time that I would go to, and I have to tell y'all this story, but every time that I would be on tour with an artist, I always tried to link in with the band. I always went early so I could see the sound checks and just hang around, because you know, you make security your best friends. You can go get in and out everywhere without having a pass. So a lot of times they wouldn't give us all access passes working for the record company. So I would go early and get in with the security guys and hopefully meet somebody in the band. But anyway, Um, long stories, long stories, long stories. But I called one of my good friends and brother, Councilman Mark Baker from the city of South Fulton. He represents District 7. And I said, man, I got to do something special for my brother and for this organization for the kickoff here in Atlanta. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Councilman Mark Baker.
Good morning, good people. It's indeed an honor and a privilege to stand before you um, uh, in open word with my brother, Rick Ross. He failed to tell you guys that he's also a director of our city's development authority. We're building a new city right here in South Fulton, and he's a part of Envision's South Fulton's Development Authority Board. So, of course, without hesitation, whenever he contacts me, I'm here. And as he said, my name is Mark Baker, Dr. Mark Baker. I just finished my PhD at Clark, Atlanta for African American Studies. So yeah, I gotta get used to that myself. But I was listening and he called the right person. I went to Dillard University in New Orleans for undergrad, where I have a sociology and minor in music appreciation degree. And I was just listening to the stories and understanding how much it's important to share what the people behind me have shared and how to make it infectious. You know, we're in the city of South Fulton, Georgia, and we're brand new. We started in 2017, and we stretch from Old National and 138 all the way to I-20 in Fulton Industrial. We have a 92% African American population, and according to the National League of Cities, we're the blackest city in America. So I'm proud of that. You know, yeah, it's okay. Clap for that. But on a more serious note, I was just thinking, okay, I have to, honor these brothers and sisters who come up here before us and share and make, incite our young people and allow things through, as the brother was speaking earlier, through an oral narrative to become infectious so we can know what to look out for and how to move forward. And as I heard you choke back, I don't know how you push back, but you had a moment up here right before, me and Rick came up, and I was just thinking in that moment, and it kind of changed me. So I'm kind of freestyling because I thought about my favorite song through my favorite musician, which is Stevie Wonder. He has a song called As, right? And I don't know, when I was little and I used to listen to this song, at the end, it's the song where he talks about how long he'll be loving you to the day that 8 times 8 times 8 is 4, and all of these other things that are almost impossible, to the day that dolphins fly and parrots live at sea. It's impossible. But that's what he speaks of. But at the end of the song, there's a moment where he kind of gets angry with the song. And I never understood the words because it just sounded like he was growling and going off. It's like, y'all know. Dun, 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 dun. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So don't do me like that. But as I got older, I kind of slowed it back and, and pulled back to just try to listen to what he was saying. And Chip inspiring story made me want to share his words. He says that we all know at times life has its troubles that will make you wish you were born in another time and place. But you can bet your life times that and twice that doubled that God know exactly where he wanted you to be placed. So make sure when you say you're in it but not of it, we're not helping to make this place called earth a place sometime called hell. Change your words into truth, and then change that truth into love. And maybe our children, grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren will tell. Amazing. So with that being said, I have the honor to presenting this coalition with this proclamation from the city of South Fulton, Georgia. And it reads, Proclamation, City of South Fulton, whereas Chip Sharon, a prolific composer, producer, and bassist who was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2010 as a stalwart within the music industry who has worked with musical icons Janet Jackson, Christina Aguilera, Faith Evans, Michael Bolton, Kirk Whalum, Bob James, Howard Hewitt, Dizzy Gillespie, Donald Byrd, Celine Dion, Big Daddy Kane, Aretha Franklin, and many more. Whereas, y'all clap for that. That's amazing. Sheesh. Whereas the National Black Musicians Coalition, co-founded by Chip Sharon, nurtures Black musical excellence and leadership whilst actively pursuing pathways to equity and formalizing education and professional structures to mentor future musicians, thereby identifying channels of opportunities for members endeavoring to advance their collective wealth and security. Whereas the National Black Musicians Coalition's focus is also on health and wellness, thereby encouraging longevity and productivity within the industry, as well as providing mentorship for musicians, guiding them towards greater health and financial efficacy. Whereas the National Black Musicians Coalition, inspired by the lynching of George Floyd and the subsequent knee-jerking reaction of major corporations to promote racial inclusivity, aims to push the envelope beyond conventional status quo and into real accountability and action, delivering on the promise to promote Black musicians' equity and equality as it applies to employment within the industry. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mayor and City Council of the City of South Fulton, Georgia, do proclaim today, November 6, 2021, as National Black Musicians Coalition Day in the city of South Fulton, Georgia.
This is an absolute honor for all of us. This is an us thing. Our work is continuing. That's it. You know, when I did my little thing at the Rock Hall and they included me in that, it fails in comparison to this moment, I will tell you, because that was about work that was done. This is about work that we're doing actively together. So thank you all for letting me be a part of this group. All of you, thank you for that, and also doing this with me and with us together, all of you. This is a team. We're a team together. So this just represents what we can do. All right, thank you all very much.
Ready? Oh yeah, quick photo.
While they're getting the photo out, I'm going to ask everyone in the building, because the next segments are very, very, very important, but we want to make sure. Yo, Kat, you have to come back up, sweetheart. Kat, you got to come back up, sweetheart. Everyone that's sitting over here and over here, can you please come and fill the first few rows in the two middle sections, please? Please come down here. If you would just fill the first 2 or 3 rows in these two middle sections.
See, that's what happens, Jonathan, when we're sitting in a 6,000 seater. We gotta.
I know. Just come in, yeah, just kind of get in a little bit closer, please. Thank you. Want to feel in the back in the Adidas, you guys can come on up if you want to be a part of it. That's good. Don't want everybody to spread all out.
I got 2 knees, so I can get there.
You have knees.
Make sure y'all take a picture of this and put it on social media. Take your cameras out. Make sure you tag all of their social medias. Yeah, Rick ain't got no young knees.
Thank you very much.
Chip, real quick.
One more time for the panelists, everybody. Give them a big round of applause. You'll hear from most of them a little later on. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would be remiss if I didn't bring this brother up. He's one of you guys, and an incredible brother, has some great things going on. I would like to bring up my brother Craig King. Craig, come here, man. I got to bring you up because I invited Craig to come for a reason. Well, I had to, bro, because it's important that we got to acknowledge and bring our people into what's going on. Uh, Craig is not only an incredible musician and has played with some of everybody, like these brothers and sisters have done, from Ray Charles to working with Kanye, but he has something that he's really doing in the tech space, and I really wanted to bring him up to talk about that and share that because we're going to be doing some collaborative efforts and doing some things together. So, Craig, tell us about what you've been working on.
Sure, sure. Thank you, my brother, for the platform. So basically, as he said, I'm a musician first, and then producer second. I came out of Nashville, Tennessee, and then ended up at Howard University. And I've always felt the need. You know. And I ended up basically working with, as Lil Jon, as family right there. Ended up working with Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff, and that really was kind of what got me started. Right after the Ray stuff and Quincy stuff, they kind of really broke me into the industry. But then Will Smith and his team really got me going and started making records and stuff. And so from there, I've just been doing that. But a few years ago, I decided I wanted to figure out a way to democratize what I had learned over the years in the music industry. So I decided to do it through the prism of technology. And so we partnered with Comcast, Universal, NBC, and they invested in a company that we created called Raffle. This is the logo. And what we set out to do was really bring a lot of the behind the scenes energy that we learned over the years to people who had devices in the technology realm. And we've learned that over time, someone brought it to my attention. She said, the youth of today are indigenous to technology. We're the immigrants. We're the ones that migrated over to it. But people who are younger, that's all they know. So how do you get this information into their hands? You meet them where they are. And so technology is really where they are. So what we decided to do is put not only behind the scenes concerts, touring, and all that inside of this app, but we also decided to do master classes. I've already had a conversation with Lil Jon about this a few months ago. About a year ago, we were having dinner, and he was telling me some stuff. And so basically, we just started filming master classes and decided that would be a great place to put them in a location that's in a marketplace that exists from beginning to end. We completely own. It's Black owned, and we recently partnered with Rick Ross. He decided he wanted to kind of push it and start talking about the nature of a boss and how to create the next generation of bosses. A little bit. Sorry, that's right. Because this is the original Rick Ross right here. Then there's another one that lives not too far from here. And then from there, we just we started to push this narrative of getting master classes into our communities. You know, if you guys are familiar with masterclass.com, they're worth about $2.6 billion right now, just doing a very similar movement. But we decided we wanted to make it more niche and take our industry and push it into the bloodstream of our community, show our youth more Black excellence in one location, while at the same time promoting these disciplines. And there are about 49 different verticals that we've identified in the music industry. And they're not just all about the guy holding the microphone. And so we wanted to put an emphasis, a super hyper emphasis on those guys and those females who are doing amazing work legally and having to become disciplined to do it. I was in a board meeting yesterday with a woman. She said, I need a female rapper who can talk to my girls. I said, well, we got more than female rappers who can talk to your girls. You know that, right? So these are the conversations that we're having on a daily basis. And a lot of people in the school systems don't even know how to touch people like you. So we figured it would be wise to become the liaison, bring these amazing people into the forefront while using technology to leverage the opportunities. So I kind of think I summed it up, right? Okay, so that's basically what we do. You can find us, it's called rapplug.com, Rapplug Live on Instagram. I'm Craig A. King on Instagram, Craig A. King Official. But like I said, you know, we bleed music, we sleep music. It's a virus I can't get rid of. So we try to figure out how what's up, Trey? It was a virus that we really just wanted to get to the community and show them how to become more into this space because there are a lot of people in here who can't shake this. It's something that we just have to do. We wake up, we sleep, we live for it. But there are other people who need to learn more about it. We also, just as an additional feature, we also teach young people how to learn how to code while making beats. that's something that we've done. We partnered with Georgia Tech to bring that to the forefront because that's transferable skills. So these are things that, again, I'm honored to be able to tell you more about it. You can find me on, Rick, you know how to reach me, but you can find me on Instagram as well, Craig A. King Official. And that's the story.
Thank you, my brother. And I'm also an investor in this company. So they did crowdfunding. Yes, and big things are going to happen with Rap Plug. I'm just telling you guys now. So everybody out there in that space, bet on this one.
We're going to be doing some master classes on site at the new Microsoft location at Atlantic Station. For those who are interested, follow up with me. A lot of things are going on. We're also putting a lab down at Georgia State. So we'll be in touch. Just stay locked in with us. Thank you.
Can y'all give a big round of applause for these brothers? Come on, y'all, make some noise in here. People that are watching on social media, I hope you understand this information. I should charge y'all $100 a piece right now just because I can. I mean, this information y'all about to get is amazing. Don't forget to follow all of these people on social media. We'll make that available to you really, really soon. We have so many things still in store for today. We've got incredible performances. Near the end, we're gonna feed you lunch, and they got real food. Ain't no coupons to churches. It's like for real, for real. We'll hook that up. And again, make sure you follow this organization, be a part of what they're doing. I've been so inspired already. I want to pick up. I decided that I'm gonna go ahead and okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the spoons and be a spoon player. Ain't been nobody black on spoons yet, have you? Nope. I think I'm gonna be the first black spooner. I'm thinking about that. It's in my spirit right now, Little John. I think I'm gonna be a spooner. Next up is somebody coming to the stage of vital importance. Everybody's important, but this is somebody who's gonna assist people in music and in the arts with something that many of us don't think about. It's all about the question, what if? Like, what if everything just goes awry? What if you get hit? What if? One of the most important things that we have got to be more involved in is the acquiring of proper insurance. So I want y'all to welcome to the stage a lady who's gonna tell you all about it, and she's real about it. Please welcome Dr. Cheryl George, everybody. Make some noise for Dr. Cheryl George. Try to clean her off a mic here.
No. Uh-oh.
Like, check.
Greetings,
Check.
everyone. Hello.
Check.
I'm very excited to be here.
Check,
I'm very
check,
proud
check.
of this organization. I'm happy to be partnering with them. Thank you for the invite. And this panel that just came up, they were phenomenal, weren't they? Give them a hand. I have a lot of respect and admiration for music and musicians, but after this panel, it just went up another notch. You know, I figured that I need to take up an instrument now. Right. But I'm a native New Yorker. My name is Dr. Cheryl George, and I wasn't always in insurance. I was, when I was in New York, I was a business consultant, and I was doing very well at it. In fact, I became Female Entrepreneur of the Year in the year 2000. And what happened to me was tragedy. Something happened in my life that turned it upside down. And a very dear friend of mine in my church, my worship leader, passed away. She passed away, and her husband didn't have insurance for her. And he was 30 years her senior. She was 29 years old. He was 59 years old. They had two babies, 2 and 3 years old. And when she passed, he thought because she was younger, he didn't have to worry about it. And she died on January 1st. And it took him until April to bury her. And that thing just crushed my spirit. And I said, In addition, right after that, or right during that time, I got sick. And when I got sick, I didn't have insurance because I was busy making money. I was busy doing my thing. And I was like, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. And when my situation happened, I got sick. I got the flu. The flu turned into pneumonia. I ended up in the hospital in ICU. I was in ICU for 9 days and on machines and everything like that. I left the hospital. I recovered, but I left with a $67,000 bill. And so between that $67,000 bill and my friend dying and her husband not being able to bury her, I decided to make it my mission to teach people about insurance. So it's personal with me. That's why my company is called Insure with Cheryl, because you're partnering with me to protect you. And that's what insurance is. It's protection. It's covering. And those that understand it run to it, and those that don't understand it run from it. But the very nature of insurance is covering you, protecting you for the unknown. And if anybody's ever been to the hospital or taken someone to the hospital, you've ever been to the hospital, the emergency, one of the first things they ask you is, are you insured? Right? And if you say, no, I don't have insurance, do you know what they say? They say you're self-insured. Do you know why they say you're self-insured versus you don't have insurance? Because insurance means that you are taking on the responsibility of the unknown. So if you don't pay a premium to a company and come in partnership with that company by paying a premium, and you are self-insured, so that means you're taking on the weight of that incident. So you're now going to take on that medical bill. You're now going to take on that car accident that you just had. You're now going to take on a house that the roof just caved in. So self-insured means my pockets are deep enough to cover what's going to happen. That's what self-insurance says. So when you say you don't have insurance, you're really saying, I'm self-insuring. I'm taking on the weight, the responsibility of the unknown. And so I just wanted you to know today that we're in open enrollment. Now, with this new law we have, you can only buy insurance, health insurance, one time a year, legally, from November 1st to December 15th. And that's the time that we're in now, open enrollment. And you want to do it now because if you have any pre-existing conditions, a pre-existing condition is something that diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, cancer. If you have anything like that going on, it doesn't matter doing open enrollment. The insurance companies have to accept you anyway. Outside of open enrollment, you can't get insured. But if you're healthy, you can get insured outside of open enrollment, but you're going to pay a premium. But during open enrollment right now, it's easy to get insured. I'll walk you through the process. You don't have to understand the system. You'll be partnering with me as this organization. I'll walk you through it. I'll make it super easy for you. And right now, this president that we have has put together a stimulus package for insurance. So now it would cost you $40 or $50 or $60 to get health insurance, the same health insurance that would have cost you $500 or $600 or $700 in 2021. In 2022, it's going to cost you next to nothing. So it is imperative to do it now because there's basically no excuse not to do it. And for life insurance, a lot of people don't like life insurance because they think it's morbid. It's about death. But there's benefits to life insurance. We have living benefits in life insurance. And I have partners here with me, Tony and LaToya, that we're going to be doing some workshops with you guys on it. You have living benefits with life insurance. You have banking benefits with life insurance. There's so many different things that we're not taught on our level. Our people are not taught. But there's a reason why the wealthy insure everything. And so we want to do workshops with you to teach you some of those secrets, some of those trade secrets that is not known to the mass population. We're partnering with you to educate you, to insure you, to cover you, to make sure that that whatever happens to you, you have the proper coverage. Even if you're as a musician, you get hurt. You know, you're playing your instruments and you get hurt. There's disability insurance so that your paychecks keep coming in as so that you don't lose your income. Because I heard about the struggle. We all know about the struggle when you lose your source of income. We can protect you in that incident. So I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm excited about it. This is a wonderful organization. I'm honored that you brought me in out of all that you could have. I pledge to give you my best. Me and my partners, we're going to work with you. We're going to teach you. We're going to groom you. And that's the end of my story.
Well, I have to say thank you.
You're welcome.
For
Chip.
being
Thank
here
you.
today. But we've had some wonderful conversations. And what Dr. Cheryl is going to do is she's going to provide a consistent content that will be on social media and on our websites of her giving this wonderful advice all the time to our members. All right. She'll be able to answer your questions also. If you have questions like, all right, even for you all who are listening, if you, by chance you couldn't be here, go to the site. We're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook. Somebody told us we need to be on MySpace because it's coming back. Anyway, but we're going to make sure that you can connect with Dr. Cheryl to get this information. It's really important that you have it because folks, musicians, and we're going to break for lunch here soon, Gordon, who I think is in here, you got to understand you can't have a career if you're not taking care of your health.
Yes.
Your career is predicated on your ability to sustain things, to hang around, to have longevity. That's the only way you can make anything in this industry, all right? Unless you become Vanilla Ice or something. Anyway, we're not gonna go there. So, but you got to hang around. So your health is important. Your financial picture becomes really important. And as Dr. Cheryl was saying, making sure that you can shore up some things, shore up some things so that you can go out and work these gigs is really important. But don't forget, some of y'all gonna have families, young men. Some of you all have families, women and men, and you have to be responsible for your family members because life is not promised. So let's do the right thing. We're providing wonderful information through the coalition, through Dr. Cheryl, and there's more to come following lunch. Gordon Campbell. Jonathan.
Hold on, Doc. Don't leave. Anybody got any questions? This is your time. Microphone is right here. Ask away. This is an expert. Insurance is important. Trust me when I tell you that. I know you got to have questions. Come on, everybody. Come on, come. Right, go to the mic.
There you go.
Introduce yourself. Tell them where you're from and so forth. Can you turn this? Hold on. See if it's on. It's not on. Hold on. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, my name is Colin Fields. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and raised in Jonesboro, Georgia. And I have a question about insurance. Is there like a specific age you need to be to apply for insurance? Because I just turned 21 in September, and then, with you just explaining about insurance and being responsible for yourself, I was wondering if there was like a limit age I need to be to apply, or can I apply like as soon as possible?
Anyone over 18 can apply on their own. However, if you have a parent or a guardian, you can stay on their policy until the age of 26.
Okay.
They can cover you, whether you live with them or not. They can cover you to the age of 26.
Okay. But also, in a follow-up question, can I still do, if I'm covered by their policy, am I able to still apply, or will that kind of make some?
You can't be doubly insured.
Gotcha.
It's either or, yes. Next question.
Just walk over to the mic if you got a question.
Dr. Cheryl, is it possible to get insurance to help you make money? Are there life insurance policies that can help you earn money long term?
There are. I have my partner sitting right there. You want to take that question? You want to go a little bit deeper into that?
Well, I just thought I would open it up because I want musicians to understand it's not always about death with life insurance.
Yes.
Tony?
That's absolutely
Chambly.
true. Yeah, my name is Tony Chambly from Delaware. With life insurance, studying over the last decade about it, we've been taught in our culture that it's all about death benefit. when I've been able to discover that it's more living benefits inside of the contract than it is death benefit. In other words, we use this policy and this contract to build what we call a privatized bank. And privatized banking allows you to set up cash inside of it like you would deposit it and save it into a regular bank account. You do it in here instead. And when you do it in here, you get guaranteed returns, which is almost 400 to 500% more than a regular bank. And then on top of that, this is the beauty of it. We can literally leverage every dollar in there up to 92% of it and get a loan from it and not interrupt the growth of that money in there. The reason why wealthy people stay wealthy is based off the idea of they don't interrupt their money after they grow. You know how we save money, something come up, need, want, or desire, we spin it back down, then we got to build it back up the next few years. Well, with the wealthy do, and the banks are using this methodology as well, they put it inside of these insurance contracts. They put $1,000, $10,000, $100,000 in here. They say they want to buy a car or they want to go on vacation. They borrow against that contract, and they say, look, 92%. Say you had 10,000 in there, you need to buy a car for 9,000. You can use their money. Your 10,000 is still growing with uninterruption of compounding interest. And when you understand the eighth wonder of the world, one of the eighth was coined one of the eighth wonders of the world, the root of 72. You see how that works on your behalf. And you do that every year, a couple of times a year for major expenses, you'll see your account never interrupted, grow like crazy. It multiplies. We call it exponentially growth, the growth that happens in it. And that's something that's not being taught publicly. Financial education is not being taught publicly. We partner with Dr. Cheryl. Our firm is a financial education firm to teach this all across the country, especially the modest income person can even do it. It's not someone that has to be wealthy to do it. Wealth comes from having a relationship with money where you understand money. And so once you get that, you'll start seeing opportunities to grow your money come at you left and right. And that's what we've been able to expand for our entire community that we're already servicing for the last 7 to 8 years.
That is wonderful. Wonderful.
Wow. Okay, I got to talk to one of y'all personally.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm 62 years old, uninsured. This makes no sense. And what you just said spoke to me. You said that if you're uninsured, it's implied that you got deep pockets.
Yes, it is.
Wow, my pockets are deep, but they got holes in it. Ain't gonna lie. So anybody else got any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Keisha Grant from Atlanta, Georgia. Cancer has terrorized my family. And so I want to know, do you have to have a separate, I'm hearing about this cancer insurance. So is it best that I go head on and set up a cancer policy just in case? I'm a mother of my daughter, she was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 11. My aunt right now is transitioning with cancer. I lost my grandmother first of the year to cancer, and also her sister had cancer. So I want to know, what do I need to do as a mother of 3 daughters? Do I need to go ahead on and set up a cancer policy outside of having insurance or life insurance? So that's where I'm toggling with right now.
Well, you actually have two options. You can set up a health insurance policy that's just for cancer. And being that you have cancer in your family, I would encourage you to do either one of the two options I'm going to explain to you, because once you get sick, you become uninsured. So you can't get insurance. So you want to do it before. And so you have an option in health insurance to buy a cancer policy, and that covers you in case you have cancer. And then in life insurance, you have living benefits. In the policies that we sell, you have living benefits. And in that policy, if you come down with a critical illness or a chronic illness or a terminal illness, in that policy, it will give you living benefits. And so, for example, if you have a policy for $100,000 and you come down with cancer, they will give you a portion of that $100,000 now to help you pay for the expenses while you're recovering from the cancer. So there's 2 ways that you can go with that. Okay. But you have to do it. once you get sick, you become, and I didn't say that before, but once you become sick, you become uninsurable. So I have a lot of people that say to me, something's going on. They got COVID and they want to run to me now to get insurance. No, COVID has been around for 18 months. You should have gotten insurance as soon as it hit. You know what I'm saying? So once it happens to you, no one is going to touch you in health insurance or in life insurance.
Thank you.
That's a great question. Anyone else?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
I am not a doctor. I'm nothing close to it. But friend, y'all can, we're keeping it real. We're talking right now. We're having a dialogue. So y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But what I've learned from just listening is a lot of these diseases, from diabetes, cancer, that's terrorizing the Black community, are genetic. But if you eat differently, you might be inclined to get that, but if you eat differently, you might not get it. So if it's something running, maybe y'all need to relook at eating. And I'm not a doctor, so I listen to Dr. Sabi and all that stuff, but I'm a YouTube. I just watch and learn from people I'm around. But I think we got to start eating differently. That's all I had to say. If we do that, you can probably avoid getting cancer if you eat differently. What is more genetic to me is the way we eat. If my mom made macaroni and cheese and I ate pig feet and I old school, you're gonna get those diseases. If you don't eat it, you might not get that disease. So we got to look at that. That's my 2 cents.
It's very true. And cancer is a sugar disease, by the way.
See, and I don't know all that.
Yeah,
I just
eat
know.
a lot of sweets, and it builds up cancer in the body.
Wow. This
Anyone
place should not be sponsored by Popeyes. Popeyes.
Chicken
We kill
sandwich.
the Negroes. Yes, sir.
So if you have a current insurance policy, you said this is the time. Is this the time when you can renew your policy to get a lower price on the policy?
Yes, every year you have to renew your policies. Every year. So if you have insurance now, even on your jobs, every year, that's the law, you have to renew. So because we're in open enrollment now, you have the option to look at the policies for 2022, and they're better than anything we've seen in the last 8 years. So if you have the option to look at the policies in 2022 and say, okay, I want to opt out of what I have now and go into this. And the premiums are much better for the policies in 2022. For the first time since Obamacare, the policies and the premiums have gone down. Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. So I got health insurance for the first time in a long time.
Okay.
And I didn't really do any strong research. I went by the name. It's called Better.
Okay.
And I thought, I am better. So I went with it.
Okay.
Is that a good company?
Companies insure according to counties, state, and counties. So in the state of Georgia, Better is a contender.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm okay?
You're okay.
But I got to redo it for 2022, rather?
You want to redo it for 2022. You want to see if the benefits that Better is offering is better in 2022 than in 2021, or you might want to look at a company called Friday, or you might want to look at Aetna, or you want to see, because you want to get the best bang for your. You don't want to buy insurance based on premium.
Right.
A lot of people make that mistake.
True.
You want to buy insurance based on coverage. Coverage. What is it covering for me? Do I go to the doctor often? Am I sickly and I go to the doctor often? Or do I just need a coverage for wellness check? Because I'm only going to go do my wellness check.
Mm-hmm.
Did I just turn 50 and I have to go get my mammogram and all that kind of stuff? Right. Does it cover that?
Right.
Do I know I have diabetes and I need a specialist? Do I have specialists, and what does the specialist cost?
Mm-hmm.
Is it $50 with this policy? Is it $85 with that policy?
Mm-hmm.
You want to look at those type of things. And if you don't know to look at those type of things, you get with an insurance person like me who's going to ask you those questions and say,
Yes.
based on your answers, this is the best policy for your lifestyle.
Wow.
Right.
That's some good info. Raise your hand if you are not insured. Not health or life. This is amazing. Yeah, that's gotta change.
Yes.
So y'all make sure you see her, get her contact information. She's available. She and her partner. I love that you have given us this, and I appreciate it. There's a policy called Friday.
Yes, it's a company called Friday, and it's Georgia based.
That's
It's
got
out
Chris
in
Tucker's
McDonough.
name written all over, don't it? I can just see Chris Tucker saying, "Damn." Okay, give her a big round of applause, everybody,
Oh,
please.
there's one more question.
Yes. Oh, another question. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to know. I have insurance already, but is it possible to get an independent, the whole life insurance?
Yes.
It is. Yeah, I actually have the book Bank on Yourself. I think it's Pamela Yellen. And I read like half of it, and I was blown away by how many companies actually started their businesses based on that. Like, I think it was Walt Disney, J.C. Penney's, they all borrowed against their whole
Yes.
life insurance policy.
That's
so I
true.
have insurance. I just wanted to know if I could link up with y'all independent from that.
Yes.
Cool. It's called Bank on Yourself by Pamela Yellen.
Bank on Yourself.
Yeah, it's
like that.
incredible.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
Hold on. He's got the
everyone
book
should
that
get.
everybody should get.
One thing, while he's getting that book out, all of this stuff, what we're doing today, we're just tapping the surface of different things to let you know what we're going to do.
Yes.
If y'all tap in on our website, we're going to be doing Zooms and informational things where it's only going to be insurance, where it's only going to be financial literacy, or it's only going to be music. So tap in with us, and we're going to deep dive into this stuff at later dates. Today is just to let you guys know our surface, what we're covering.
Gotcha.
Yeah. This is become your own banker. And this type of whole life insurance policy is a special design for it. 99.9% of insurance agents or financial people don't know how to design them to be your own banker inside the contract. My wife and I, and Dr. Sherrill is going to be a part of it, is doing that too right now. We're certified to be able to put a contract and make it do both death benefit and living benefits with banking in the middle of it. And this was the man that discovered it, that we actually went and graduated from his institution to learn how to do it. So this book, I have a couple. I'll give it to the facilitators today.
Okay.
To have it, but we'll make sure everybody has a way to get it.
Make sure you get that book. Make sure you get the information. Thank you, doctor. You are amazing. I'm gonna see you soon because I need to get my stuff right. You got those books for sale today, or just we don't have two?
Yeah, we're gonna donate those two to you.
Okay, so we're gonna do a raffle.
Yes.
At the end, if you haven't gotten the ticket, meet Kat out there. You can get a ticket. We're raffling off some of these instruments, well, all of these instruments.
Right.
We can make those two books part of
That's
the raffle.
awesome. That's right.
So,
and then of course you can always buy them. And if because you are here today, I'm sure we can do this special. If you buy one book, you can get the second book for the same price. So it's the way they work it out. It's just how we do as a people, as a culture. Everybody's trying to come up. That's a good idea. All right, so I made a mistake the last time. We do have lunch available, but it's not free. It's for purchase. So we're gonna take a lunch break. You want to buy lunch here, you can go get lunch, but come back because we have more panels. And the Atlanta Drum Academy is here. They're gonna do that thing. They are serious, trust me. And then we got the band of Brothas. We got all kinds of good stuff. So let's take a quick lunch break.
hold on. One thing too. Okay. We gotta acknowledge my man Tricky Stewart's in the house. Super producer. The one song I always think of, and he's done millions of records for millions of artists, is Umbrella for Rihanna. He literally broke. She was out, but that song broke her. So Tricky Stewart's gonna come up.
Stand up, Tricky, so they can see you, Tricky.
Yeah, he lives here in town. Got to give him a shout out. The guy that was speaking about insurance, Carlin, he plays with Israel Houghton and New Breed. He's a drummer. He also has a company, Shed Track. So it's people in the house. Jeremy Haynes from...
Where's Jeremy?
Right, stand up, Jeremy. He's going to talk to you later.
My man.
Drummer, he lives here in town. Tri-City Singles, Donald Lawrence, everybody. Like, I've been listening to him forever. So it's some people that's going to come up on top of the performances. So, and give it up for our host. He's the man.
That's all right. I don't need that. So look here, let's get something to eat. I guess we're gonna be healthy. Go this way and upstairs for those who want to buy you lunch. You want to just sit here and chat, you can do that or whatever, but you can just Lady right here and with the short hair, you look just like my ex-wife. You scared me when I saw you. I swear to God, my heart beat. That lady right here, you made me so nervous. I'm like, yeah, you. Woo, God. Okay. It's lunchtime, y'all. Let's eat. Woo. The great works that some amazing artists have done through the years. You're going to meet some more a little later on. And want to make sure that you understand that what we're here for is to make sure that all that they've done will be passed on to our next generation. And for those who might have considered maybe a change in your life as far as what you want to do. So this is benefits to everybody. It was all free of charge. Somebody should be applauding when I said it was free of charge. So this second segment is based on you seeing the best of what we have, what's to come, and what's our future. So first up, this is exciting for me because I'm a native Atlantan. Let's hear it for the Braves. Thank you very much. World champion. And let's be clear, I just moved back to Atlanta, and that's the reason why they won. And let me do this publicly too to everybody that's watching. Tomorrow, the Falcons gonna beat the Saints. Because I'm home. Watch what I tell you. Hit me up on social media. I am Jonathan Slocum and tell me, okay, yeah, you was right. Huh? Say I'm lying in church? Watch what I say. All right. Right now, I want you to enjoy somebody that's very special. This is from the Atlanta Drum Academy, started in 2011. Since 2020, they've embarked on creating their own identity outside of performing with their big brothers and sisters who are middle and high schoolers on the drum line. Y'all show some love right now for the Lil Rascals of Atlanta Drum Academy.
We call them the little Raffles because all of them other heads in their own big, every last one of them. But we have three separate drum lines. We have the little Rascals, and all these kids are elementary and middle school. Anybody in middle school? Well, they just got to middle school, all right? Elementary and middle school. And then we have another drum line, the squad. They are all in high school right now, so they're in a drum line competition right now, so they can't be here. And we have an adult drum line called ADL Elite, and they do a lot of the adult type performances, the ones that these kids can't go to. And these kids have been playing by themselves probably maybe, how long y'all been playing by yourself for not the big kids? Like a year maybe? They've been playing for like a year by themselves. So give it up to them, and I want to add to what the host said about the Atlanta Braves winning. Yes, sir, you got the mic. Can you say that again? I gotta say all over it again. All right, mic check, 1 2 1 2. I like how my mic sound on this voice. I like how my voice sound on this mic. I might say something that y'all don't like. Bars.
My man, can you repeat what you just said?
Okay. All right, so I got to repeat everything I said. Once again, this is the Atlanta Drum Academy, the Little Rascals of Atlanta Drum Academy. And the reason why we call them the Little Rascals is because all of them are knuckleheads in their on their own way. Just look at them. You can probably see some of the knuckleheads up there. But they're all good kids. We have 3 separate drum lines. We have the Little Rascals, and then we have the squad drum line. But let me go back. How many of you guys are in elementary school? Raise your hand. Usually you can't get on the drum line until you get in high school. They're already on the drum line. How many of you in middle school? Good. And 9 times out of 10, when these kids join the marching band, they are already they're levels ahead of everybody else that's in the marching band already. So that gives them the chance, if they want to go and play trumpet or flute or anything different, they can go and do that because they're getting their drum lessons here at Atlanta Drum Academy. We have these guys. We have the squad drum line. They're our high school drum line. And we also have 88 Elite, which is our adult drum line. And some of them play for the Braves. Some of them play for the Atlanta Hawks. And they do a lot of the adult performances that these kids can't do. Our youngest kid on the squad, I don't think they're here today, but I think our youngest kid is around 3 or 4. And the reason why they're not performing is because they can't climb up them stairs right there. So we just went with the bigger kids. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoy the show. Look us up on social media, Atlanta Drum Academy, and on our website, atlantadrumacademy.com. We did just drop our own drum book called This Is How We Do It, and it teaches the way that we teach our kids how to play drums, because we know that our kids learn a little different from a lot of the other kids. So we wrote a book to teach the way that we teach our kids. So hope you guys enjoy the show. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm sorry. My name is James Rouse. I am the founder and creator of Atlanta Drum Academy. This is the gift that God gave me, so this is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. I don't see no point of doing nothing else. This is what He gave me to do. I'm from a small town, and I know some of my parents laugh at that because I say this all the time, called Nichols, Georgia. We only have one red light, And the way that I ended up in Atlanta is because I got a scholarship to go to Morris Brown College, the best HBCU in the world. So that's how I ended up here.
And are you or were you a drummer?
Yes, I am a drummer. Yes, sir. We started off teaching drum set. Most of these kids, raise your hand if you play drum set. And I got a lot more that play drum set. That's how we started the drum line, because I got so many drum set players. So we wanted to give them a chance to perform out. And also, I want to say not only the reason why the Braves won the championship is because we got these Braves hats on. That's why the Braves won the championship. They didn't win the World Series until we got these hats. So we got these hats, then they finally won one. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoy the show. I don't know what we're supposed to be playing right now. Yes, sir. We got another question.
Hold on one second.
I didn't practice this. That's a big something right there.
In the words of Jonathan, we
Use the mic.
In the words of Jonathan, we want to give you 200 million right now, but but what we're going to do, it means so much to us what you do for your community. It means so much that these incredible kids are going to have a future in music because of you. It really does. That's what the coalition is about. And on behalf of the coalition, we want to drop a couple of little dollars on you. So we thought we'd give you guys $1,000. Woo! You want to hold on to that right there?
Yeah!
Little photo op. If I can get members of the board to come up real quick for a picture with
NBMC.
board members, come on up so we can stand in here. I got more drummers in the keyboard players. If you want to join, I got to get rid of these drummers.
It's because drummers rule. That's all. I just want to say we rule.
Come on in. We're gonna get a little picture with the group here. We got people on every side. Divvy, come on in. Thank God for Divvy. I need Divvy and Cat, my real instrumentalist.
We like to see, where are the parents of these young men? Where are you in the building? Make some noise, parents.
All right.
Y'all got tired of your kids banging on the garbage cans. Put them in the academy.
Yeah. Hold on, look straight. Just a little photo op.
Gotta have it.
There you go.
Gotta document this. Please don't take it lightly when someone gives a contribution to an organization that's doing good things. Give it up again one more time for the National Black Musicians Coalition.
Absolutely.
Paying it forward.
Okay.
These are musicians. They could all use the money themselves because they ain't working right now. But they have decided,
thank you, brother,
to give back to these young people. You didn't even have to say that, bro. Give it up for the Little Rascals. Everybody, standing ovation for the Little Rascals. Woo! Many of the top drummers that you've seen or will meet today started right there. One more time for the Atlanta Drum Academy, the Little Rascals, and their parents.
I know I keep interrupting,
That's
sorry.
okay.
Because we just flowing in the spirit.
No problem.
So while we in the giving mood, we have 2 scholarship winners that we chose. Each event that we're gonna do, and we didn't say this, we did it in LA. That was our first event on September 11th. This is our second event ever as a group. We haven't been doing this a long time. But we wanna give to some youth that are either in school for music, in college for music, or planning on going to college for music. So we wanna bring them up right now too, while we're in the giving mood. And while y'all in the clapping mood, keep clapping. And we're gonna have Rick Ross introduce them.
I'd like to bring up Sarah Womack from APS. Sarah, you want to come up? James, Music Education Group. So the Music Education Group has partnered with APS for the last, I don't know how many years. We've been partners for a long time, right, James? But I'm gonna turn this over to James, and then I'll let him introduce Sarah, and then we'll bring the kids up.
Come on to the middle of the stage. Come to the middle of the stage, please.
All
and
right.
APS is Atlanta Public Schools, so people don't know.
Hey, so just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out today. Thank you to Chip for your vision. Thank you to all the board members for your vision. Thank you to Dr. Womack for being such a great partner in education with Music Education Group. For those of you who might not know, our mission is simply to teach life skills through music, film, and digital media. We do that in a couple of ways. We got multiple programs going on. We have a couple of students here too. Last year we started a student engineer program, Thomas Ford and Javon Ridley. These 2 young people were awarded a full in-home production studio last year. That includes a computer, Apollo twin interface, the full gambit. They're learning how to use the hardware and software. Javon, when he was 12 years old, was able to run our Dunbar studio all day, 10 in the morning until 8 at night, recording seniors using Pro Tools. He's 14 now. Stand up, Javon, where you at? And so also thank you to Rick for his vision in wanting to give back to our young people. This is what we do. We've got to create a better world for musicians. We don't service musicians like we should. And we hope that through these processes, we'll get to that point where musicians are respected for the talented creatives they are. You're the backbone of the music industry. And we've got to make sure that you're on the forefront. So we appreciate everything. Thank you. Oh, Dr. Womack.
Do you want me to introduce? Okay, so we have 2 APS students that are receiving scholarships today. One is Amani Kane, if you want to come up. She is a drummer. I hate to tell y'all. But she is a senior at Midtown High School and is the drum major of the Midtown Marching Midnights. And is hoping to study music business in college. So, and film business. Okay, both. And so our other is Drew Barber. And he is a senior at North Atlanta High School. And you're going to see him on Broadway one day. So he's going to major in music in college. So when I sent out emails to teachers like, hey, who's your best? These are the ones that rose to the top. So let's give them a big round of applause. And we're so appreciative of the partnership. We did not know what today was going to be like. We were just talking about this at lunch. And so we got here and there was the panel discussion going on. It was like, oh my gosh, we are in need of this.
And a little special gift to you, Drew Barber, to spend any way you want, just as long as it's on education only. No, just kidding, but that's supposed to help you. Congratulations. What you say, sir?
Thank you. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. And thank you for nominating me. Definitely, probably ramen noodles for college. That's probably what it's going to go to. No, I'm kidding. Definitely tuition. But thank you. Thank you so much.
Amen. Books, all of that. And here, just a little gift for you from Fender. Fender wanted you to have this, so thanks to Moya, Ed McGee, and the Fender staff. Absolutely. And of course, got to leave the best for last. Not that you're not, Drew, I'm just picking on you. Amani, for you, my dear friend. We are proud of you, proud of what you're going to do in the future with music. So tell these people a little bit about what you're going to do with that money.
Hey guys, I just first want to say how amazing it is to be here, just to hear all of you guys speak, and it's really inspiring, and I'm really grateful to be here. What am I gonna do with this? Yes. I could always use more sticks. So drumsticks, equipment, and definitely tuition. So thank you guys again. This is amazing. Yeah, thank you.
So we didn't know that we were giving an award away to another drummer. So we had a guitar for you, but I just told him, you don't play guitar, right? Kat says every girl plays guitar. Do you play guitar? You play a little, so you can use this then. Well, this is yours then. All right. Thank you, Fender.
Thank you, guys. Yep.
So let's get this photo out.
Photo out. And then we're going to get into the panel discussion.
For those that can't see, these each got a check for $1,000, made possible by the National Black Musicians Coalition. That's NBMC, doing big things.
While we're doing the photo op, I'd like to take a special time to acknowledge Derek Floyd from IK Multimedia and his beautiful work that he's doing for our live stream with the Beautiful Now Project. And I'd like to also take the time to thank each and every one of our sponsors: City National Bank, Sweetwater, Fender, PRS, Jace Allen, Zildjian. Are we dead? Are we still taking pictures? Okay. Okay. Cali Audio, and along with Chuck Chirac, PRS, thank all of our sponsors for helping us, 1500 Sound Academy, everyone that has stepped up and helped us meet the challenge to try to make some differences and some good changes in our communities and in our lives. Thank you to all our sponsors. Can we give our sponsors a big hand? Thank you.
Come on, y'all, do better than that. We couldn't be here without our sponsors. Where are the parents of these recipients? Are the parents here? Please stand if you stand up so people can see you. This is, there you go. So we're getting ready for our panel discussion for our panel. But something just came to mind. As a comedian, I'm very creative, and I think that the National Black Musicians Coalition would love to say this from their hearts. And it's kind of random when I say that they believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. It'll give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how they used to be. This just came off the dome. I just thought of that when I was standing here. I wanted to share it with you because it's from my heart. some very unique and original words that sometimes it just comes to me like that. Yes, that's just the way I am. I was talking to my lady last night. Came to my mind again. I just said, "Oh girl, I'll be in trouble if you left me now." I had just thought of it in the moment. In the moment, it just came to my head. And I was like, I don't know where to look for love. I just don't know how. It's random. That's what I do. Because I'm random like that. So we are here at this amazing church. Give it up for this church because they let us have this event here. And again, thanks to the brother who made this possible, who is making this streaming worldwide. And if you're watching, make sure you follow and take full advantage of all that the National Black Musicians Coalition is doing. Now, Mr. Gordon, sir, the facilitator, come on up and let the people know who's on the panel.
All right, we have the panel now. The music panel, we're gonna get back into it. And you guys, if you have any questions, get your questions ready because we want you guys, we wanna create a dialogue. We wanna hear what you guys wanna know. If we don't touch on it, we're gonna get a mic down the middle. So we're gonna get into this panel. I wanna invite up Mr. Tricky Stewart, producer extraordinaire. He got hits on hits on hits. I'll let him talk about that. Sonny Emery is in the house. Would you mind coming up, Sonny? Drummer extraordinaire, one of my idols. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Eric Clapton, Bette Midler, literally everybody. Lil John Roberts, come on back. Jeremy Haynes is in the house. Come on up. All the we're COVID friendly. All the mics have been wiped down, have been sanitized. Right. Okay. It's some other people in the house. If y'all feel so inclined, come on up. I ain't gonna put them on the spot, but yes, we'd like to hear from you. Okay. Trey Gilbert, come on back. And this is for us, like we spoke earlier, but some of us don't live here. And in my mind at least, I was thinking, I want people that live in Atlanta so you guys can really feel the connection. These are the hometown people that you can connect with and get close to. You can connect with all of us, but I just wanted this to be that.
And this segment is brought to you by AARP and Viagra.
I have no words.
Okay.
Give a hand for Jonathan Slocum for hosting.
Jonathan Slocum is killing it.
Couldn't have found a better person, man. You're the perfect cat for this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Cash App, $J.
What's up, brother? Good to see you. All right.
That is respected, my brother.
We love you, Jonathan.
So we just wanted to talk. And we were on Zoom the other day planning this event. And Jeremy, drummer extraordinaire, on a whole lot of gospel albums and some other stuff, but I know him when I first started watching him. He was playing with Donald Lawrence and Tri-City Singers. He was like, can we be transparent on here? We was like, that's why we're here. The reason we're here is to really keep it all the way gangster and tell people there are pitfalls, there's real life, and everything is not, and I always say this, like my family back in New York think I'm like a celebrity because every time they see me, I'm on TV with somebody. But I'm like, y'all not thinking about the times where you don't see me, which is more often than not. I'm at the house trying to find another gig. It's a real hustle. So, people see that highlight part, but there's a real part that you have to be passionate about in order to get through that. So while I'm on that, Jeremy, just talk a little bit about yourself, where you started, and maybe some of the pitfalls, and then we're gonna build from there.
First of all, hello everyone. My name is Jeremy Haynes. I'm a musician, drummer. I started playing at the age of 2, like most of us play young. I started playing professionally at the age of 13 for an old gospel group called the O'Neill Twins. And yeah, that's old. Jesus dropped the charges. Yeah, I did my first record with them at the age of 15. Wow. And from then on, you blossom into meeting other people and develop relationships. Most careers are built around relationships, not just how good you are. They're really built around, and it's really not the right relationships. We think it's always the right relationships. It's what you do with the relationships that makes it right. So I took advantage of that, and God opened many doors and allowed me to do that. So let's skip to being an adult. As an adult musician, going from being we are all gifted as young children. The Black culture is probably some of the most gifted children in the world. We just witnessed that. So the reason we stand here or sit here in our accomplishments is because we were at that age and we had people pushing us. But it's when we got to this age to experience life is when it changed from being a boy to a man. You know, when the Bible talks, I'm a Bible component guy, so when the Bible talks about when I was young, I spoke as a child, I lived as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Putting them away does not mean you still don't have access to them. You can still be a child as a grown man. So having professional grown men around you that has families, that has addictions, that has money, saving money issues, who save money well, who make investments, who struggle in things, is profitable to life. Influence is one of the greatest things in this world. There is a difference between inspiration and influence. Inspiration makes you want to do what the person is doing. Influence makes you want to be like the person. So I encourage you all to be inspired by what you hear, but don't be influenced by it, because you can't repeat what's already up here. You just can't. God made us individually for a purpose, not just blood, but he made our distinction, our journeys. Yeah, we all play drums, but we don't play alike. We all play guitars, but we don't play alike. So in life, we're not gonna do things alike. So let's talk about some of the struggles that most of us you're not exposed to. I lost my mother and my grandmother in the same year, in the same week, in 98. And in 98, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. So most people don't know that. Wow. Most people don't know that. So in the process of being one of the sought after gospel music drummers in the world, I'm dealing with something that has nothing to do with music that I didn't even know I could get, that I didn't even know I was in line to have. But I didn't realize that I came from a family of diabetics. They had diabetes. My mother had diabetes. My grandmother had diabetes. I didn't know these things. Now, I didn't get colon cancer because I'm diabetic. I got colon cancer because I played in a cigar bar for a year. Wow. I don't smoke, never been high. Just playing in a cigar bar, playing what I love, doing what I love to do. And got colon cancer. So imagine the panic as a human being, hearing you have, and you put over what you want to afterwards. It's all devastating no matter what. To be told that I have something that I had nothing to do with is devastating. Music didn't even matter no more. I didn't care about music at that point. I thought about living. So I had strong people around me that would say, listen, it's colon cancer. We can fight it. We can do this. We can do that. Change your habits. Gordon, perfect what you said about changing your eating habits, changing your discipline in what you eat and how you eat. So I had to go on grapefruit, tomato diet. I love tomatoes. I love grapefruit, so that was cake. But I'm a carnivore. I like meat too. Right. But I had to give that up. No, you just can't eat fish, and no, you just can't eat shrimp, and no, you just can't. No, you can't go vegan and beat this. You got to change everything you do. So I had to stop playing music at the cigar bar, which was some amazing money, because you're playing with a three-piece. You're doing at least 2 times a weekend. You're making about almost $1,000 a weekend to do something you love. Right. Touring, man, please, I'm good. And I do records for a living, and I was fine for not touring. Making $1,000 a weekend? Right. Man, please, that's cake. Yeah. And I had to give that up. So guess what I gotta do now? I gotta figure out how to make money. Got to figure out how to make money. So what I started doing was teaching. You can't get colon cancer from me telling you how to play drums, so let's teach. You figure that out, you teach your unique way. Shout out to Sonny Emery, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest to ever do it on this earth. He taught me some valuable lessons about teaching, about knowing the information, about being able to convey the information, and you need people like that in your life. But just so you know, I am completely healed.
Amen.
God is awesome. God is awesome. But going through the process was hard because you want to talk about it, but you don't trust people to be able to comprehend and receive what your issue is. Because a lot of people always say, "Oh, I understand what you're saying, man. I get it. I know what you're talking about." No, you don't. Anyone in here ever lost a parent? Yep. The next time somebody says to you, "I understand how that feels," ask them, "Oh, really? You lost a parent?" And if they say no, just walk away.
Yeah.
Because they'll never understand. I lost my mother, I lost my father, my grandma. I lost family. That's family. A cousin, I mourn. But a system being devastated, when you lose your parent, that's a system. That's a relying system. I want to call my mother when something is going on, but I can't. So God knew to put strong people around us that we can have real relationship, we can be authentic in ourselves. Yeah, a lot of us up here, we barely talk because we're busy. We have lives. But when we talk, it's like we just finished having a conversation that we wasn't having last year.
Yep.
So that's relationship. So I want to say to you, what you're getting ready to hear should inspire you, okay? One of the greatest things that Black culture has, the biggest problem we have is being transparent. We fear going to therapists. We fear the vaccine. We fear all these things, and I get it. I get the legitimacy and the unknown, but we should not be ignorant in all of our devices. And all that get an understanding. Get around some people that have done what you're trying to do. Get around some people that have experienced what you are getting ready to experience, and that's the best way to do life. I'm humbled to even be asked to be here because these things are not and should not be taken lightly. It shouldn't. We live in a time now where everything is ego-driven. Everything is what can I get from you, not what I can do for you. When you said earlier about serving, that's one of the greatest things we could ever do. So thank you guys for even inviting me. You know I don't come out much to your gigs and I don't do that kind of stuff, but I'll do better, I promise. I will, I promise. I'll make this be the springboard of that.
Here
Man,
we go.
this is good to see you, Sonny. I
Yep.
love that guy right there. I really
Perfect.
appreciate you, man.
Yep.
Go ahead, Sonny, you got it.
I love you. Love all my brothers up here. I want to say it's such an honor and pleasure and privilege to be here, first and foremost. This is something that is sorely needed for our community. And I'm so proud of the fact that, number one, it exists. Gordon called me the other day and told me about it, and Lil John had informed me a little while back about what was going on, and I was very, very pleased to hear about it. But now, seeing it and seeing the impact has really warmed my heart. Jeremy, love you, brother. Had no idea that you had gone through that, but that just leads me right into what I was about to say. The music industry can be a funny place, but what I want you to do is, first of all, I'm gonna say this about your situation: God is good, and God is real. So, what I want to say first and foremost is, when you're thinking about your life outside of music, I want you to think about three things: spirituality, physicality, and artistic. Okay, three phases of your life. If you are to focus, and if you can focus on those three phases of your life, then you're gonna stand a great chance of succeeding. What Jeremy said about having a community of people around you to support you is definitely valid, and it's very, very important to have that. In any industry, any career you choose, you're gonna have ups and downs. And I tell all of my students and people coming into the industry, the way you survive some of those down periods and those valleys is you have to love what you're doing enough that that carries you through those down periods. I don't know how much you know about me, but I grew up right here in Atlanta. And and seeing the Atlanta Drum Academy just brought back a bunch of memories for me because I grew up here and I went to elementary school here, went to Frederick Douglass High School, went to Northside High School, where I was on the drum line. And
They don't worry about the fight.
right. And that seeing those kids, my wife leaned over to me and she said, "That's you." I was like, "Yep, that was me totally." That set up such a firm foundation for me. I mean, you know, coming out of a musical household was great. My dad got me started playing. But when I got to the point where I was participating in Drumline, it was about creating music with my brothers. It was a team effort. And it was something, there was a discipline about that I have cherished to this day. And I think every young person deserves or needs to experience that type of discipline. The one thing that I, you know, have kind of found to be really true is discipline in any field. I don't care what you're doing. If you're disciplined about it and organized about it, you're going to stand a much better chance of succeeding. So I don't know if you have any questions for me, but if you do, shoot.
I want to say something about Sonny though.
Yes, and we can take questions afterwards because I want Tricky to talk.
Sonny in Philly. I think I was 16 or 17, and you know, I had seen videos of Sonny playing with Earth, Wind and Fire, the spinning the sticks and all like that with the shirt off, and
Yes, come on.
with the white Remo drum set on the rack and everything. This is rock star days, y'all. It's like they were rock stars, you know. And I snuck into the Academy of Music one day, and he was playing with David Sanborn. And I played in the Academy of Music, you know, when I was younger, a few shows and stuff, so they kind of knew me. I snuck up. I was sitting up in the top watching them sound check. I made my way down backstage and got right behind him, and I said, "Mr. Sonny, can you show me that beat you were playing?" Like, it was this Latin thing he was doing. And he turned around, he said, "Sure, man, come up here." I stood up on the riser and he showed me the thing real quick. And I think moments like that just change somebody's life, like mine. And it happens for us too when younger guys come up to us and ask us questions or whatever. So I wanted to make that as an example of passing the baton. Him passing the baton to me that easily, just showing me a groove and being cool and everything like that. And then I left. I didn't stay around long. I was like, "Thank you." And I rolled because I wanted to know how he played that cowbell beat, or this Latin beat he was doing. He showed it to me. They were right in the middle of sound check. So he took about 2-3 minutes to show me, and then I left, you know. But just that alone, moments like that can change a person's life. And I appreciate you for doing that for me.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Well, see, somebody did that for me, you know. Same thing. So there's a cycle here. And,
who was the person that did it for you, Sonny?
Oh, well, lots of people did it for me. I grew up, I mean, my father was, you know, a jazz musician. So I was around a lot of different musicians at a very young age. But I remember at one point I came home from elementary school and Rahsaan Roland Kirk, I don't know if you know who he is, a jazz artist, was at my house with Art Blakey and Duke Pearson were at my house. And Art did the same thing to me. He showed me some things. And then just you know, all of my dad's musician friends took time to instill things, and not just drummers, you know. So this is across the board. This is mentorship across the board. Touch some young person's life, because if you're doing something that they admire, they're gonna pay attention to you. They're gonna listen to you. And they're gonna try to emulate what you're doing. I think that's part of the problem with society now is we have our kids emulating the wrong things. Yeah. You got all these heroes out there, all these guys doing beautiful things. And you know, sometimes we just get off on the wrong track. But the point is, the most important thing is to pass that gift along. God gave me a gift to share with the entire world. And Jeremy hit on this too. Everybody up here is successful in their own right. We do it the way we do it. That's because God intended for me to do it my way, his way, his way, his way, his way. God has given us specific gifts. So your responsibility is to develop your specific gift and do that to the very best that you can do. Do we have any questions?
Hello, is he on? Okay.
It's on.
My name is Kyle Fields. I'm my brother Kyle Fields. We were born in Atlanta, raised in Jonesboro. We go to CAU. So my question is, when did you really notice you were in the music industry, and how were you able to deal with the negativity that comes with it? Like what certain things you can't do, what people say about you, and how to build your brand, kind of. Like that's my question. Yeah.
They have multiple questions.
Yeah, multiple questions. I'm gonna answer
Sorry.
part of it, and then I'll just pass it on. As far as what people say about you, don't worry about that. Just try, as hard as that may sound, ignore that, because what's gonna allow you to ignore that is if you know that you're absolutely doing your best to develop your talents and your gifts, then that's all you should be concerned with. So completely ignore that. Let that roll off of your back. Okay?
Yeah. What?
Well, I actually forgot the question now.
Can you repeat that question one more? The edge of your question.
I'll be a little slower. So the question I said is, how do you notice when you got into the music industry, like, I'm really here? And then also, how do you deal with the negativity that comes with being in the music industry?
I think from my perspective, how I knew I was in the music business is because I could be in the music business and it took care of my livelihood in whichever way that was. So I think one of the great things about being in music is that there's several different plateaus of making it. So you never stop making it. You know, it's always, you know, the very first part could just be getting the equipment that puts you in the position to even have an opportunity to show your talent. So there's wins all the way through. But I think for me personally, when I became a published writer and I got my first check, that was kind of like, okay, I can show up and do this day in, day out as a musician to really be able to work on my craft daily. So that's the first part. And the second,
What was your first song, big break song? You remember?
My first, I mean,
you got so many.
No, the big breaks are relative, you know. But my first, the first hit, like real hit, was JT Money's "Who Dat." But before that,
Who that?
But before that, I did. Before I got to that was my first #1 pop. But before I did that, I did That Young Man's album over there, because I believe you were the first artist to ever let me do a whole album.
Guy?
No, I wish. Damian Hall's album.
Damian Hall from Guy is in the house. What up?
I worked on.
Damian Hall's in the building, by the way,
Yes.
from Guy.
Yeet.
Raise your hand, brother. Raise
Good
your
to
hand.
see you,
bro. There he is.
Yeah, so we just caught up, but that was like, you know, that was a huge thing because that was the first opportunity that I got to do a record. Damien gave me the opportunity. It wasn't the label. He had access because I had met his brother. My brother and his brother were working together on what was Aaron's first project, and then I ended up getting 2 songs on there. He heard those 2 songs and was like, well, the little brothers should stick together, you know? And we did a whole project together, and he cut me a really nice deal. He was like, okay, you came up with these songs, and I'm gonna give you a really nice deal for these 3. But the rest of these, you're gonna make the budget make sense, right? So he's like, these 3 songs, this is for you. The rest of this is gonna be for me. You need to do these at cost or for nothing, so that ultimately we could, you know, just bring the project in under budget.
So he looked out, though.
Oh,
He looked
absolutely,
out.
because
like, unlike some other artists and producers in the business will
Yeah,
take
absolutely.
advantage of you, Damien didn't do that.
Oh
You
no,
were
no.
young,
He
too.
he explained. He explained at that time it was what we used to call all ins, and the all in was a number that allowed you to make the deals, and whatever you could make is what you make. Like, and but then he was like, I'll give you a fee for these other 8. And that meant to me, and he explained, like, these are gonna run through my production company, you'll be the producer, but we're gonna do it like this. And I was like, cool, because ultimately it was the first real opportunity that was really given to me. And I knew it was at stake, like of us just trying to make history at the time. So when you say make it, all those things were making it. Your first budget, your first check, every step, your first time to go into the studio, getting a studio, whatever that. It's just when it's happening from a producing standpoint, the feeling never really wears off. And then eventually you get a song on the radio and everybody wants to talk about hits, but music is not really about hits. It becomes like it's just the seeds that you've planted that end up growing out the right way. And if you're lucky, you'll have somebody say, "Oh yeah, you did Umbrella, you did Single Ladies, or whatever the song is." But compared to the amount of music that I've written, it's not, it don't pay that well compared to the amount of hours that you actually put in.
How do you deal with the negativity in the music industry? That was his other question.
Negativity is everywhere. First off, let me just say this. I come from a musical family. So my infrastructure my view on it is a little skewed because my family is everywhere that I look, right? I had the same manager since I was 15 years old as my brother's wife, So I didn't really have negativity like that. But negativity is everywhere. But I think it becomes very important for you to be allergic to negativity. I don't really entertain negativity, and it's not really a way. You can't make compromises earlier in your career based on who has the opportunity. You better showing up to a positive place because that's going to bear more fruit longer term, even if it seems like the person that may have the opportunity. If they negative, there's super successful people in this business. There's whole labels that I've never worked for, but I found the 2 people that would hire me that I liked working with. I've only worked for 2 people in 30 years, so that's L.A. Reid and Clive Davis and a little bit of Jimmy Iovine. But other than that, it's like if people didn't respect music, I'm pretty arrogant about that fact. Like if you don't love music, I'm not really gonna be in your presence. There's other people out there that that will entertain that. There's people that come at it from a street way. There's people, but my way is a musician's way. And I was talking to Ikram, who's right there that I work with, and she goes, "Where are we going today?" I was like, "I don't really know," but I was like, "But this is my tribe." Like, right? I was like, "I really don't really know where I'm going." I said, "But I know who called me, and they don't call often." So when John called me, I was like, "We'll figure out what I'm going to. We just gonna be there. We'll be there early, and we'll go." And that's kind of like you have to identify people for who they are. And John and I don't spend a lot of time together. We've known each other for 20 years, but we've probably been around each other maybe 10 times, 3 of them in the last 5 years. You know what I mean? So, but
He gave me $1,000 for playing tambourine the last time I was with him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely work
for real. I played on one of them TV show theme songs. He was like, "John, come on, I need some percussion on it." All right, cool.
Well, it made all the difference in the world. You'd think it was just tambourine. It was the swing I was looking for. So
And the relationship.
So the negativity, I think ultimately you have to navigate. That's really something that you have to be protective of your own energy.
It's a great question, though.
Yeah.
So
Great question.
before we get to the next question, and we have to wrap up pretty soon. So like I said, this is surface, and if y'all tap in with us, we're gonna continue this. If it might be via Zoom, where we just get on and in Zoom we can stay on for hours. So we got a couple more questions, but we didn't really just lay down who you are. Like we know you're a producer, like you breezed over. Yeah, Umbrella. Can you just tell us? He's a producer for one. we all of us produce, but we're also coming from the musician standpoint. Not saying that you're not, but you're a producer. So can you just tell us who you are and just name a couple of them hits?
This sounds weird.
And look, some people might look at it as Hollywood, but this is what everybody needs to hear so they can aspire to be like that and see that it's capable, it's possible, it's touchable.
Okay. So I'm Tricky Stewart. I own a company I moved here in '95. Started a company called Red Zone Entertainment, and I'm a producer, writer, producer. I guess most known for partnering with The Dream. We did a lot of work together, right? But songs that I did include, like I said, Umbrella, Single Ladies, Touch My Body,
Rihanna, Beyonce,
all Mariah
Mariah Carey.
Carey's album, Whitney Houston's last single, Katy Perry's Teenage Dream,
Hits.
Justin Bieber's Baby, Frank Ocean's first album, B2K.
This is that guy.
Yeah, I did the Dream first two albums, Love versus Money and Love Hate.
Keep going.
I mean, Pink's first album, TLC, Destiny Child, Celine Dion, Lionel Richie, LL Cool J. I mean, a lot.
Yes, sir. Goes on
Legendary.
and on. And such a humble cat. This is our family right here.
And that's why I said he was breezing over it. Like, no, they need to know.
So did you play or do you play an instrument? I'm asking.
Who asked that?
I am. I don't know.
Oh
People
yeah.
don't know.
On my records, for the most part, I play everything first, and then everything that doesn't. If it doesn't have the feel that I want, then I call people to play it. But I always usually write it on the instrument that I want to play it on, and then they come in and kind of duplicate it. But
So he ain't doing Fruity Loops and stuff like that. He's really producing. Playing.
No, I started on tape. So, like I go back. My career started professionally in '92, which is what kind of brought me here. I did a song in a movie called Bebe's Kids where I had just done Immature's first album, and there was a producer here that had just done a Crisscross, and his name was Jermaine Dupri. And we were in LA and he was out here, and they put those two songs together and we collabed, and that's how I met Jermaine. I was 15, he was 16. And that was my first access to Atlanta, and particularly like the Atlanta music sound. So shortly after that, I came here, and I moved here in '95 to start a record company called LaFace Records with LA and Babyface. And so it was a very small company at the time. It only had, 5 people, I think. And when they wanted to do a deal with us, they wanted to offer us a deal to come here with some cars and, mansion and all that kind of stuff. And we said, no, we don't want to be exclusive. We took the money as a loan, kept our exclusivity. And ultimately, I think that move at 19 years old changed my relationship with L.A. Reid forever, from the standpoint of how we were gonna, what level we were gonna operate at. And that wasn't my move, that was my brother Mark's move, who, like I said, him and his wife Judy, they've been managing me, looking after my career. But I think that was the singular most powerful move of my career, which was ultimately got me in the real estate game on accident because I wanted a studio. And then that studio became Triangle Sound here, that's been here for 25 years. And now that's the home of Sony, who I was signed to at the time when I got that building. So now they're my tenant, which is kind of cool.
Real estate.
That's how you change the game.
That's the story. Trick. That is.
If you don't get nothing else out of today,
that's it.
That's the game.
Yep. Especially the movement into other things like real estate. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure that we highlight on the website, is how these other ways that you can use music as a vehicle to open up other ways to make money.
Mic drop.
And would you get $1,000 to play? I got $79 in a peanut butter sandwich to play Rapper's Delight. That's
And
all
look
I
at
got.
it now.
Sonny, Sylvia
It's
gave me
worth way more now.
$79 to play. I asked her, why can I get 80?
Right.
Why can I get 80?
So-
But she wrote a check for $79.
That's crazy.
To play bass on Rapper's Delight. That's all
But
I
guess
got.
what? You're a Hall of Famer now.
Carlin.
Well, I would
Right.
I'd rather have $1,000 for.
Hey, Chip. We have to wrap it up, so I definitely want to get these questions in. And then Band of Brothers, where y'all at? Y'all can start getting
Band
ready.
of Brothers is here.
And we're gonna do the raffle as you guys are heading up. Y'all want some of them wonderful gifts from Fender over there.
Come on, Carlin.
Oh, we got a grand prize too.
IK
from
Multimedia.
Multimedia. Brother
Thank you
Derek.
to the NBMC for putting this event on. This could have easily been $200 a ticket today. But my question today is, can any of you guys share some of your mistakes that you have made? I know if I've made mistakes before and I try to say, how can I never do this again and how can I grow from this? So anybody?
Yeah, we all raised our hands.
Real quick, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it fast. My first tour with Janet Jackson. When I came home, I made a few $100,000 from that tour. When I came home, I had half of that money left. I had a ball. Don't get me wrong. I was 23 years old. I didn't know how to manage my money right. Straight from college, straight on tour with one of the biggest artists in the world. I came home with half the money. I learned from that mistake. Save your money as much as you can. Put it away. Try to live off your per diem if you can. With per diem, y'all don't know, we get money every day to eat and stuff like that. That's law. You're supposed to get money if you go out of town with an artist or whatever, 35 to 75, maybe some people $100, $150 a day.
If you're Sonny
Take that
Emery.
money and live off that money for the week. Send a check home, send it to the bank, whatever. I learned that the hard way, and I'm never doing that again.
And on top of that, on the per diem, if you really tight, if most gigs have catering during the day. So
Yeah, exactly.
I like to eat, so I'm gonna go ahead and spend my per diem.
Eat the
But some
catering.
of my people that I've been on tour with, they will go early. They eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the big.
Oh, yes.
If you're on the big, and they don't spend, and they have all their per diem saved by the end. Day off, I'm be at Ruth's Chris. That's just how
So you gotta-
I want to splurge.
You got a few $100s to work with for the rest of the week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say one of my biggest mistakes from a musician standpoint is showing up to a gig unprepared, not knowing the music. And a lot of times, because a lot of us are talented, and we came from church, we can hear it one time and we can play it back. But when you're working with real professionals, they can hear that you didn't listen to the music. So don't skate, because that'll get you not called back. I'll be on a gig and do the rehearsal, and they'll be like, thanks for coming. And then the next thing I see the artist on Jay Leno or Tonight Show with another drummer. I'm like, wait a minute, they didn't even call me to tell me I was fired. And it's because I wasn't prepared. So if anything, I make sure I know the music.
The other part of piggybacking on that is stay organized so that you don't double book yourself. Because when you double book yourself, you got to say no to somebody, but you've already said yes to this other person. So honor your commitments, stay organized so that you can show up where you're supposed to be
On
time. Yes. On
And that
time.
means early,
And-
especially for
exactly.
drummers.
So that means, that's my pet peeve. On time means showing up early. And if you're a drummer, that means showing up really early because you got to set up, you got to make sure you're straight. So just don't make sure you don't double book yourself. I made that mistake when I was really young.
Hi, my name is Chase Barber, and I have some 2 questions I'm trying to get into. Oh, sorry. My first question is, how do you learn to trust yourself in the process while working in the music industry?
How do you learn to trust yourself?
Sorry.
Apart.
I said, how do you learn to trust yourself in
Yeah.
the process while working in the music industry?
I think that kind of goes to what Gordon was just speaking to. If you are prepared, then you can relax, and because you're ready to do a great job. When you're not prepared is when you're going to be nervous.
Yeah, and I think from a production side, like you trusting yourself is about being realistic about what's coming out of the speakers. You know, if you make a relative sound like, and you're not A-Bing it to what's the best things that are happening in the world, and ultimately closing that gap, I think the truth of you the truth in you has to be able to realistically look at that and go, I'm not good enough yet.
Yeah, and I think a big component of trusting yourself is knowing that you were the one that got the phone call. So there's no compromise after that point. Just do what you do. If you do what you do, having the phone call, that means they wanted you.
Work ethic is everything.
Yeah, it is.
It is everything. Time, spending the right amount of time is everything. If someone sends me a list of songs and I know that it takes probably realistically 2 days to get it, I won't take 2 days to get it. I'll start 4 days before that because there's other things that show up in terms of life, right? So you got to schedule your life. And it goes to waking up before 1 o'clock. I hate to get onto some of y'all, but the reality is you can't just, you got to treat it like a business. I'm sorry, but you can't, you got to wake up before 12 and 1 o'clock. There's no way you can, I mean, I wake up naturally 7:30, 8 o'clock, period, whether I got something to do or not, because there's something to do. There's always something to do. So you got to set yourself up like a life. You got to, like a business. You get up, you set yourself on a schedule. I don't care if that's coffee, then charts, or learning the songs and get up so you can be ahead of everyone else. Treat yourself like you're the music director of or the artist in the scenario or the producer, no matter if you're the last person in the game, because you're posturing yourself to be in this position. But go ahead.
We got to move to the next question.
One last thing to that. On a spiritual tip, if you know that God put this in you, he's not going to put you nowhere where you can't handle it. So it's a little bit of faith. I have a 20-year-old daughter that sings, and she had to sing the other day. She was super nervous. And she's good in the studio because she grew up recording in the studio. But in front of people, I was like, do you feel like God gave you this gift and you feel like this is your purpose? She was like, yeah. I'm like, well, be in your purpose. And she was like, thank you. She still was nervous, but she chilled out a whole lot. You know, so if it's your purpose and you know that God put it in you, live in that and do it. Do it, say it with your chest. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
All right, we have.
Thank you.
Yeah, but last question, and we got to wrap it up.
Hey, my name is Maurice. My kind of question is, I'm currently taking real estate classes, but I'm trying to figure out what other investments that you guys made that kind of sustain you when the music industry was down during the pandemic and everything.
Well, that's a good question because we went through this we stayed on the phone so much. We did susu.
Well, look, I'll tell you one thing.
We played, we gambled.
Chip.
I'm just kidding.
Too much information. That
Late night bingo.
Those pandemic stuck in the house stuff, man. Shh. But for real, for me right now, I just started being a professor at Berklee College of Music. Thank you.
Yes.
I went to Berklee in '91. I went there for 2 years, but now full circle, 30 years later, I'm a teacher there now. I am not relying on just playing drums to take care of my life. You know what I'm saying? Take care of me and my family for the rest of my life. I had to find out other ways of making an income. Moving to Berklee, not moving there, but going to teach at Berklee is another stream of income for me now. So I don't have to just rely on playing shows. I still do that on the weekends, but Monday through Wednesday, I'm at Berklee in the classroom, not just teaching drums. I teach full bands now because, you know, I can do that. You know, some of y'all might just be good at teaching the instrument. Some of us can teach a full band. I could tell a keyboard player those chords are wrong, even though I don't play keys. I can hear it, you know, so I know enough of the music that I can let people know what they're doing right or wrong, whatever. So, and they're younger, and so I can steer them in the right way now so that when they get older and get into the professional world, they're already prepared for that. So find another stream of income, definitely.
Forex, binary options, stock market, day trading. I'm doing all of that. I flip homes with Ethan Farmer. Well, you can call some of them homes, but we're flipping them. But we've always been into that. All of us have different interests. I was talking to Sonny about, you know, reestablishing yourself real estate-wise in the areas that fit. All of that is part of what we do, and it's going to be always a part of the content on our webpage. You want to go to the raffle? We can move into that.
Yeah, one thing from, from Cora. Cora is one of our board members that plays, for you. She played with Prince, played drums with Prince, with Beyonce. She played with a little bit of everybody, Sheila E. And she's on our board. She's not here, but she said one thing you can do too is set up your business name, set up your LLC with the state you're in, go to irs.gov to register, your TIN number, and go to the bank and open up a business checking account. Set up your LLC. So that's a good thing too. And start it now. Like, don't wait, because a lot of us will wait till we ain't getting called no more. Me? Yeah, to start. Like, I got to think. No, if y'all start now while you're working, when the pandemic hits, you won't be swole like a whole bunch of us was when the pandemic hit. You won't be set up now.
And that's technically manifested too.
Manifest. There's a thing, and real quick, we're gonna do the raffle. I listened to, there's a lot of, but one was supposed to come today, Jay Morrison, but there's Earn Your Leisure. There's Him 500. There's a lot of people, and those are just what I'm getting off of Instagram that's talking about money and how to earn. Start listening to that stuff. I'm on it, like the Forex, the day trading. I'm learning now, which I should have learned a long time ago, but now it's never too late. Raffle time, and then Band of Brothers, and then benediction.
Shouts out to Tricky Stewart for coming and
Tricky
hanging out with us
Stewart.
today. Yeah. Thank you, Trick. Sonny Emery.
Sonny Emery. Thank you.
Sonny, the greatest.
My man.
Greatest. Jeremy, thank you, man.
Sister Algebra in the back. Dope artist.
Algebra.
Yes, representing
Yes, Algebra's
ladies
in the
and
building.
And the singer.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
All right, we have a grand prize from IK Multimedia, a home recording studio package worth $500 that includes the iLoud micro monitors and Axe-IO Solo and 4 numbers. Can you see that? You've got your readers. I do not, and it's dark up here.
Them big old glasses ain't got no power in them.
And the last 4 numbers are 4611. 4611.
4611.
For the home studio worth $500.
Drum roll, please.
4611. I'll keep picking them.
I
You
need
keep
that for
reading
the
them.
road.
All right.
Here she
Home
is.
studio. Okay, now we have Fender Guitars has given us 2 sets. A set of a bass guitar with amp and a guitar with an amp. So we got 2 basses and 2 guitars. Yeah, that package will be sent to you by IK Multimedia in 30 days. Okay. Pick it up. Okay. This is for the guitar and amp package from Fender. 4607.
4607.
4607. Guitar and an amplifier. Electric guitar from Fender. Squire package.
Man.
Is that you?
We're going to keep picking. Do we have a winner?
4607.
Keep it going.
4607. Okay, we have another number. 4572. 4572.
Oh, we have
07. We had the 07 over here.
That was her already before.
The last number.
4607.
Oh, okay.
Is that
Mom had
46?
11. This is 707.
That's 4607. Okay, come on up.
Congratulations.
All right, we're gonna give one more guitar package, and then we're gonna get to the basses. So those 2 things there, that's the guitar, that's the amp, that's the case.
Can we get some Raffle keyboards while we giving away prizes?
I was trying to keep it from the Zoom. You know, we got the Zoom.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna give away a bass package right now from Fender again. Squire bass, the bass guitar, 4612. Bass guitar with an amp and case. 4612. Electric bass starter kit. 4612. Do we have it? Okay. Five 4592. 4592. All right.
Yay.
You've got a bass.
Congratulations.
And we got a girl.
It's a bass and a bass amp.
It's a bass. Yes.
And a bass amp.
Wow.
Yes.
You play bass? She's about to learn.
Okay. We're going to give away another guitar package. Yes, thank you.
Don't go nowhere. Band of Brothers is playing after this, y'all.
Come on, Rick.
You don't want to miss that.
$4,645 for another guitar package, guitar, amp, and cases.
Four,
Nope.
6, 4, 5. Nobody?
Going once, going twice.
4577.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Glad one of the twins
Clark,
got
Atlanta.
One of the
All right,
twins.
and
CAU.
guitar. And this is for the last bass combo.
Hold on,
Hold
somebody
on,
had
somebody's
a number.
coming up here.
Why you late, man? Where was you? Oh, that's you up there.
He won.
Who?
He
That
had
might
one
be
of the
it.
numbers.
I see 4645. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you get the bass. This brother here who was sleeping when we call a number, you get the guitar. Okay, there you go. And that is the giveaway portion of the program. Thank you so much.
Hey. All right, congratulations to all of our winners. We do this often. So please remember, nationalbmc.org. nationalbmc.org. Go sign up, become a member. Become a member. You're going to love it. It's going to be an important part that we do. All right, Gordon, we're about to move into our close. Get Band of Brothers up right now. So, Gordon, we ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Here we go.
So, yes. He's going to introduce the Band of Brothers, but we definitely, from the National Black Musicians Coalition, want to thank you guys for coming out, hanging with us. We know this is a long day. It's early. It's a Saturday. Y'all probably need y'all break. And it's hard sitting still in 2021. We ain't used to sitting still for long, listening to people talk. So we appreciate you guys coming out. Oh, we got some T-shirts for sale. They have this logo on it. Thanks to Cora
fundraising.
Coleman for making this. Cora is in Houston, but she's calling the shots on the phone. Thanks to Robert Sput Seawright. He's one of the founding members of the group. Nissan Stewart, Emmy Parker. Thanks to everybody, Jonathan Slocum, everybody. That thing is heavy.
Jeremy.
The struggle is real. Thanks for everybody that came out. Come on, Jonathan. Jonathan, and just y'all hang to listen to the band because they about to rip.
As they always do. Did y'all enjoy the day? Make some noise if you did. Make some noise if you did. Make some noise if you did. NBMC, they giving away gifts, instruments, scholarships. They giving away everything but themselves. You got to pay them jokers, but everything else
Got to
is
pay.
free.
Price just went up.
Just went up.
Today's price is not yesterday's price.
If I do these again, you will not get a microphone, brother.
I'm sorry. I am your conscience.
Yes, you are. Everybody can take a seat. I want you to just get ready for an experience. Now, these brothers that are about to blaze the stage have played for everybody. Their warm confidence is exuded across their sound, which burns and bursts through the speakers as a mix of alternative soul, a healthy heap of rhythm and blues, quiet storm, and jazz rock elements. They met in 2009 and still killing it today. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the Band of Brothers.
How y'all feeling out there? I say, how y'all feeling out there? Wonderful. We are the Band of Brothers. I'm Slim. We got Rod, we got EJ, got Jordan on the drums. And before we get started, we just want to say thank you to Lil John, man. I appreciate you calling us to do this. It's an honor to be able to be before you guys and play. You guys have been nothing but amazing mentors, nothing but, great help for our futures and inspiration for us to go to where we're trying to go. So we want to say thank you. We appreciate you for inspiring us, showing us the ropes. We're gonna do 2 original songs. Is that cool, y'all?
guards let down, yeah. Drop all your worries and all your cares. Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, leave it right here. Pain and your sorrow, don't live for tomorrow, just leave it right there. Leave it right. 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 Down your guards, let down your hair. Drop all your worries and all your cares. Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata, leave it right there. Pain and sorrow, don't live for tomorrow, just leave it right there. Leave it right. Leave it right. Leave it right. Leave it right. Leave it
Leave it right there. Can we jam out for y'all? Here we go. This next song is called In Will. I'm just going through the vibe, trying to figure out my life. Tired of fighting what I feel. I just want to live. Yeah. So clocking 9 to 5. Steady trying to stay alive. Convincing myself this is life. Yeah, it's all a lie. Yeah, it's all a lie. So this probably won't end well. This probably won't end well. This probably won't end well. Yeah.
we won't end well. You ain't ready to let it die. The sun is going down and it's getting a little harder to see. Walls is closing in and it's getting a little harder to breathe, harder to breathe. And I just can't take this bomb, this catastrophe. Every time I try to go, it just keeps getting harder to leave, harder to leave. When you can't make up your mind and it's time to go. When you're done with wasting time, you already know that this probably won't end well. This probably won't end well. This probably won't end well. Yeah. This probably won't end well. 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 Appreciate you guys.
And we want to thank everybody for coming out today. If you were able to enjoy the segment, we sure do appreciate you stopping by to just take a look and share. We hope you had some great information that helped you move forward in your music career, professional career. You were able to share this with other people, hit that link, and we'll be glad to know that this information, this segment, will be able to be replayed from the link that you are on right now. So once this segment ends, you can replay the segment, send it to someone else, and get that information to another musician, another young person that's trying to get out there and do their thing. So we should appreciate you, everybody here from the NBMC, National Black Musicians Coalition. Bid you thank you so much for being part of it. If you have not taken a chance to join in, take a look and go to www.nationalbmc.org. Join the coalition. I think you'll be some great things there for you. Lots of information, lots of furthering things to help